What's up there, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of Dynamic Conversations, the podcast where I chat with some very interesting and smart close friends of mine about a variety of topics. That could be recent books or documentaries that we really loved, interesting people that we recently discovered, products or services that we currently really enjoy, problems that we're currently trying to solve. And in this first episode, you get to enjoy a chat with two very close friends of mine, Marvin and Filip. And to give a little introduction about the two of them, Marvin is a videographer and photographer who is currently building out his production company, very skilled videographer. And then there's Filip, who works in sales in an IT company called EASI, a company that has won 3 times in a row an award as best managed company in Belgium. And Filip is just amazing in sales, knows what he's doing. Those are the two people, and then there's me. And to give a little introduction about me, so I'm a licensed trauma therapist, and I'm the founder of the IPS Project, which is an educational platform on life. These are two great friends of mine that I've had so many adventures, so many deep and good conversations with, and just endless amounts of amazing experiences with. And I hope you enjoy this dynamic conversation with the three of us about, like I said, a variety of different topics. Now, in the description, you can find the show notes of this episode where everything that we talked about, all the books, documentaries, the people, everything that was mentioned in this talk can all be found in the show notes. But with that, please enjoy this episode here with two great friends of mine who are, personally to me, highly interesting and highly smart people. So enjoy this first dynamic conversation. By the way, what is everyone drinking?
I was
That's
asking
the question I wanted to ask too. All right, you can go first, guys.
Well, I'm drinking a super weird drink. It's alcohol-free Heineken.
So,
Heineken.
dude,
Heineken is already bad.
you're talking to two Belgians right now and you're showing Heineken to us.
Well,
We're gonna end.
Drink real beer.
This is the end of the call, okay?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the German in me should drink real beer, but we got this beer for free yesterday from my Indian pizza place. There's like an Indian pizza place which is really good, and they know me and they really like me, so they give me free beer all the time. So yesterday they gave us like 2 free 6-packs.
Nice.
Loyal
What
customer.
about you guys?
I am drinking actually a couple of things. I'm drinking a tea here at the left side, and then I'm drinking a glass of wine.
A glass, dude. That's half a bottle.
That's a glass of apple juice. No, of some grape juice.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm mixing it a little bit, and then I got a bottle of water over there to not get hydrated or dehydrated, So, but it's not a special wine. It's just some white wine that we still had here at my parents' place. So, but it's the first wine in a while, to be honest, that I'm drinking. So it's nice.
You're gonna
That's
end up
good.
drunk.
I actually had a big dilemma on what I was gonna drink because I am now currently in a nutrition program where I track my macros.
Right.
Which is the first, this is the first diet I've done in probably 5, 6, 7 years. And it was basically caused by Corona. I was like, I cannot do anything. So let's try something new. I wanted to do it for a while. I read about it and I was like, fuck it, let's do it now. And today I was like, should I waste some basically calories or bad influences today? And I chose. Oh shit! You cannot see it. Wait.
Oh, that's great.
So this is some Chinese wine. Chinese tea that I got gifted by some of my dad's business partners. It's
Nice.
amazing. It is oolong tea.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I've been a very, very big fan of these kinds of teas since like the last 10 years, I guess. Like I was once in China and I got sold on tea, and then it's also super good for your health. So I am drinking some nice tea.
Yeah.
So between all of us, you're the one who is staying healthy here in this call.
I'm trying to.
I had the same dilemma, but I gave up. I have about 3 beers, one even like Coke Light. I've been addicted to this because it comes out of a glass bottle. A friend of mine hooked me up with that. I don't drink Coke normally, but like it's so weird. This glass bottle changes everything.
I agree. It's much better.
Yeah, I don't know. So I have like a bunch of drinks here. I'm ready for a long, long talk.
All right, nice.
Nice.
So wait, have you guys been able out of the list to get some topics out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I went on a walk today, and I was thinking, okay, what could be some interesting things to talk about, and I noted them down on my phone. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone feels like to share one already, else I can start as well.
Go for it.
go for it. What do you want to share with us, man?
So there's a couple of things, and let's see. One is actually, so recently when I was in Bali, my laptop broke down, as you know, some might know.
Your laptop broke down?
Yeah, yeah. So there was something wrong with it, and I couldn't turn it on. You know, dude. But anyway, it was basically the first time in years that I didn't have a laptop actually to access. And it was super weird. It's sort of like the thing when you don't have your phone with you for a whole day. All of a sudden, there's some kind of freedom in a way coming to you. And not like, I like, not like I can't take distance from my laptop or anything, but I basically came to the idea of implementing a day every week to have a non-technology day. And I mean, maybe non-technology, I can use my phone, it's not like super strict, right? But just in general.
I love your day where I cannot access technology. Like not really, like I still use my phone and my laptop, but you get the idea, guys.
I don't want to be like super strict in case if I need a phone or something, right? But just mainly to do more different things than being on my laptop. Dude.
I'm thinking of a guy like, I stopped drinking alcohol, like except for beer and wine, you know what I'm saying? But I stopped drinking.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
This has been, I don't know, so something new that I want to experiment a little bit with, to just have every week, just one day where I'm mainly not being anything with technology, just doing different things like guitar, piano, drawing, just going outside, just doing different things than just being on my computer or on my phone. And yeah, that's actually something that, and I think Tim Ferriss actually has something like that too.
I'm sure he does that.
Yeah, where he has like one day a week where he doesn't use a phone or something. And because since this laptop, I didn't have it, and I don't know, it just allows different ideas and things to come through, because I spent so much time actually on my laptop, and not having it for just actually 2 days in Bali kind of made me realize how much I just spent time on it actually.
Right. Yeah.
And then not having it for like 2 days just brought like a whole different kind of freedom and things. And it's so weird to say that actually, but it's the same thing that a lot of have with their phone, I think, as well.
But did you miss it? Like whenever I think I lost my phone or when I can't find it, there's like this panic coming up where I'm thinking like, oh Jesus, I have to like, how am I going to do that? All those contacts, like the clients and all the messages I need to respond to and all this stupid shit that, isn't really that important. But like, I think in a way it's like an extension of ourselves. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds what I find so amazing about it is that you have so much knowledge in your pocket or in such a small device. Like, and you and me, we make money off this thing, sort of. But then on the other hand side, it's so nice to just not be dependent on it all the time. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, and and it's sort of like a thing when you don't have it for a day that you kind of have to detox from it, and it really feels like that. And I think realizing that was actually an interesting realization, that I do really feel attached to it, and it feels really weird when I don't use it for just one day. And that was a weird thing actually to realize, and that's why I sort of want to have this in place. And it really opens up just different doors to different thoughts, because you get certain thoughts when you use a computer, and you get different thoughts when you use a piano or a guitar, or just go out in nature, right? And so I just wanted to have more possibilities to get more open to those things.
Right.
And I think in general, I think from a lot of people, it's actually a thing that they don't realize, that they're so used to have a phone or a computer all the time with them, that it could be a good and interesting thing to experiment with as well. So that's been something recently that I started implementing actually.
Right. What was the first thing you did when you took back your laptop or your phone? What was the first thing that you checked or?
I can't remember, but I guess it was like emails or like messages or something. But yeah, I don't know. But it felt good to have it not for a day.
And what is, because I find it very interesting. I have some thoughts of my own
All right.
about it. But I first want to know, like, what do you feel when you didn't have it? Because like you were you're saying like, oh yeah, I miss it, and you have freedom when you don't use it. But what kind of thoughts, like what is the difference between the thoughts? Because I've also done that, and I also try to have at least like one afternoon in the weekend or one day where I do like less stuff. I don't care about technology that much. It's just that I cannot do the things, I cannot do operational work. I guess that's the right way of saying it. Like I can still be on my laptop, I just cannot be executing.
Yeah.
To me, that's the difference between reflection and doing. So I wanted to know your thoughts of like, what are the different thoughts that come to you?
So I think mainly what when I sort of observed myself was that when I'm not on mainly when I'm on my laptop, I'm working and I'm making progress. And when I'm not doing that, I feel like there's so many things I still have to do, so many things that I still have to work on, that it's actually sometimes a hard time for me to take a break. Because I always, if I do that, I feel like I'm not making progress. And this was also sort of a realization for me that makes kind of sense, of course, but it's still a realization that, you know, there's still hundreds of things, of thousands of things that I have to do now. But even in 40 years, when I'm 65, there's still going to be 1,000 things to work on then too. So it was basically the feeling, like the reason why it felt sort of that I should be on a laptop a lot more is because there's always more things to do. But realizing that there's always going to be more things to do in the end. So it's okay to take a day off as well. And that was mainly the anxiety that I was sort of self-creating there, feeling that I'm not making or working on things when I'm not on my laptop.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
This actually makes me think of a conversation we had. I still remember when, and like it was probably like the first year or the second year we knew each other. And we were having the conversation in the gym. That's where we met. Marvin, did you know where me and Yelis met, right?
No, I was just, I didn't want to interrupt, but I wanted to know your love story because I don't know where you went. It must have been a long time ago.
Please, Filip,
right,
share our love story.
No, actually, this is like super interesting because at that moment, I read a book and it blew my mind off. and the name of the book is. Do you know which one?
Yeah. I'm quite sure I know which one. Yeah.
All right. So it's the power of now,
Mhm.
and like exactly what you just told me right now. That's exactly the power of now. Like,
Yeah.
are you happy in this moment?
But look, I'm happy. Yeah. It's not like I'm not happy or something. But continue first. Yeah.
No, but like I think everybody has that. Like, are you happy in this moment? And I was reading this book, and it's like 200 pages, and in every page it says the same thing. And I only got it like at the last page.
Mhm.
But it basically says like, are you happy in this moment? And that basically means that you can still have goals, but you need to be happy right now, and then achieve your goals just because you want to achieve your goal. Not, I'm going to be happy if I have done that, or if I achieve that goal, or if I. And it feels a little bit like technology, like, is linked a little bit to that, because like if I'm not working, if I'm not making progress, I feel I should be working and I should be making progress, whereas it's perfectly fine to like chill out a little bit.
Sure, but
That's
it's
my.
also it's also, of course, if you have your own company or your own business, you do feel more pressure, right? Because it's your thing. You are, it's you who has to move it further. But by the way, it's not like I can take a break. It's not like I don't do things besides working, of course, before anyone thinks that. But it's just sometimes a challenge to allow myself to take a break, because I'm the one who in the end has to move my own company further, right? And so there is definitely more responsibility that I have to put work in, and then sometimes it can be a little bit challenging for me to take a break and be okay with that. So I'm more now playing with that to implement a day, like a non-technology day in a week.
Nice.
But you, any thoughts of you guys on things that you I don't know, maybe you can resonate in this, or you have some different thoughts on that?
Nah, bro, I don't have those problems.
Get back in your villa then.
I'm chilling in my villa. I'm happy, man.
Yeah, you have a nice background.
Yeah, but I mean, like Marvin, like, can't you, because you have your own business as well, like can't you resonate in some ways with what I just shared?
I was thinking about this like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and I was just making a list in my head. What are the pros and the cons of having, I'm having two laptops actually right here. Like, this is my work laptop, which has a better microphone. That's why I'm using that. And I have a private one. So I'm trying to really like divide things. So I have a bunch of devices that I just use for work. And I don't even watch YouTube videos or something on them. Like,
On that
maybe,
laptop?
yeah, like this is solely for work. There's, I mean, emails are synced and this sort of stuff, but like, this is just my work thing. And I would never use it. I would never buy a device like that. Or Yellis, you and I were talking about the iPad. Like, I'm just using that device for work. I would never be in bed and watch a Netflix show on that iPad, just because I don't think it makes sense as a private device, that specific one. So I'm trying to organize that a bit more, because I don't want work and private life to just go together all the time, which has happened so many times to me. I mean, you probably know that you lay in bed and then you get an email, and then you start responding to it, or at least I do it sometimes, because it's something urgent or important, and you're asking yourself, hey, why can't it wait until business opens tomorrow morning again? So for me, I think it would be nice to implement a day like that. But then also, I made in that list, I thought, well, it gives me so much freedom, and like, I'm fascinated by being able to have so much knowledge. And yeah, it's so much information that you need to organize what you want to know. There's a lot of stuff that you don't need to know. But I think just having the freedom of basically knowing everything is super fascinating, I think. Like, just the things that you can do with that device is crazy. Like, just the thing that you can do with your phone, like, I was thinking for that podcast, we were making this list, and I was thinking about the item that's most important to me. And I just bought a piano, and I thought, well, this is amazing. I love this thing. Or I thought about a guitar, and I would love to say an instrument, but this thing is able to connect me to you guys, for example, to anyone in the world. You can make money off it. You can do whatever of it. And I think this is even more important, unfortunately, than an instrument or my camera or whatever, because yeah, I can call my grandma when I'm in fucking Madagascar, and I can do so many things with that and take photos and listen to music and do so many things that I think it's really hard to separate yourself from the device, at least for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think we're kind of cyborgs, like people start to implement chips in themselves. But I think we don't realize that this is an extension of ourselves.
Oh
like,
yeah, it's the remote. It's the remote to life, basically.
This is your brain. This is your memory. This is so much. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is super fascinating.
Well, that's why people freak out when they lose their phone, because it's their extension that they're losing.
When I was in Japan, I saw people with 3 phones at the same time. And I was wondering, like, okay, one's for business and one's for private, but what's the third for? Like,
The mistress, bro. The mistress.
Yeah, right. That's definitely possible, yeah.
But this is something that I'm really annoyed by. Like, imagine someone would have told you 10 years ago that you need to charge so many devices. Like, when I go through my devices, I need to charge my cameras. I need to charge the phone. Then maybe the business phone, the laptop, the iPad, the blah, 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 blah. This is annoying me so much.
Well, but that's in your case with your profession, right? And it's not for
Yeah.
everyone that they have to charge that many things. But yeah, if you have cameras and all, then damn, you definitely have to charge a lot of things.
I have about 12 batteries just for one camera. And this is
Damn.
only batteries are so bad, but like,
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, so that was a little one thing out of the list that I had here that I wanted to share.
All right, awesome.
If there's a thing out of your lists, then go ahead.
Marvin, I'll let you take the stage.
Well, there's a couple of things that I found very interesting. I would love to start with the problem that we're currently trying to resolve, because I was thinking about this.
Wait, who is we? You and?
All of us. Like, what problem are you currently having that you're trying to resolve? And like, sometimes you even know the answer, but it's just the process of going through that.
Okay.
So if you have something to share, that'd be very interesting.
Actually, what I just shared, I would say would be sort of my problem, but something that I'm sort of currently dealing or like, handling.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't directly don't directly have something, I would say. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if there's something you have.
Is there something you have in business or in private life where you're thinking, I really need to figure out a way, or something that keeps up a lot of energy, not even like a problem in a negative way, but something that you're trying to solve, taking the next step? I don't know, something like that.
Well, because I was like 2 months or like basically 3 months in Bali because I was stuck there with the coronavirus. I ended up with 5 wives. So that's a little bit of a problem that I'm trying to figure out. If you guys want one of them.
I mean, Philip looks like he doesn't have problems with his background, so
Yeah, I put mine in like the back room. They're watching a movie.
You have space over there, Filip. You want a few more?
Yeah, I got like my second villa. It's still empty, so I got people to clean it. I need some people to clean it and stuff.
No, but but I don't directly have something actually besides what I shared in the beginning.
All right.
Awesome. For me, I have not really a problem to share, because it's not necessarily something to solve for me directly, but it's like more of a general thing. Mm-hmm. But I'll bring it up after. You can go first. I'm actually more excited about solving other people's challenges than. But I'll bring mine up because it was my point that I wanted to bring up anyways. So,
all right,
Marvin, go for it.
I thought about this, and I think what keeps me up the most is first for the business we're implementing a team. So I have about 2 to 5 people that are going to start working with me, and
Can you
that
first fill in, sorry to interrupt, by the way, can you first fill in what kind of business?
yeah. So I make photos and I make film. So filmmaking and photography, but we're sort of growing into streaming and a lot of support and sort of advising in film industry.
Mhm.
And I have 2 people that are starting to work with me sort of right now. One of them is working at Pinewood Studios, or was working at Pinewood Studios. He's a film editor, and then the other guy is more a stream specialist. And this has been very interesting and sort of a problem of orientating and sort of building a team, because so far I've been working by myself and sometimes with a small team, but this is only for a day or a few days. And now it's like, okay, these guys are from now on working with me on a lot of projects, which is super exciting because it takes away a lot of work and more space to do bigger and cooler projects and things that I really want to do.
Mhm.
But also it's kind of more serious because now people are dependent on the work that I do too, and they're still freelance. They're not employed or something, but they're like in the team, and they're kind of, I'm required to give them work in the next few months so that they have their normal life and they can finance things and we can do cool projects. So this is something that I was very anxious about, but now I'm happy that I made the decision to do it. But it's the whole process of team building and sort of taking over the lead and like figuring out what we can do together. So this has been something that is very nice, and it's challenging, but I really enjoy that. And then the other thing is, well, due to the virus, we can't do it right now, but I wanted to do some more philanthropic work and like crisis photography and this sort of stuff. And this is really difficult to get into. I don't know why, but so far it's been so difficult. Like it's easier to get a client to pay or to be paid by than actually to go somewhere and do something for free and help them. It just seems to be much more difficult so far. So these have been the 2 things that I've been focusing on a lot and sort of the main problems to be solved. So
Awesome. Really
yeah,
cool problems, by the way.
yeah, I think I
Um,
can complain.
no, but like they're interesting, you know? It's like these are, to me, these like are more growing pains than problems. It's like opportunities arise and you don't know how to manage. So I think
Yeah.
that's good. And the only question for me is like, let's delve into like the first and then the second. Um, but what is it about like the new people that makes you anxious?
Mm, I think it's more the pressure that I set to myself. It's their work is really good, so I can be happy about that. I'm not worried about the quality of the work that we deliver to the client. It's more like, when you have that small idea of doing something and then it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mm.
It's kind of like a snowball, and you're thinking, Jesus, this was a small idea, and now like a few months ago, I thought, oh, maybe it'd be nice to have a team. And now there's people that I call every week and talk about things, and like it's growing, and sometimes it's faster than I thought. I thought by the end of this year, I can start working with one of them. Now I'm talking about 2 to 5 people at the same time. So this is something that I didn't expect, and it's a beautiful problem or a beautiful part, but it's a bit fast sometimes. So I need to adjust really quickly to it. And I'm anxious about that. My work is more like talking to people and managing people rather than what I love, which is making films and taking photos. So
Mm.
this is something I need to be able to manage at the same time. But I'm really happy to sort of explore, but it,
Mm.
raises a few questions. So
Very interesting.
yeah,
It's
that's
because actually, like I'll let Yelis answer first because I saw he had some reaction.
yeah. I saw his reaction.
No, actually, go ahead, please, because you were directly continuing on this.
Um, No, for me, it's very interesting to see the anxiousness because I think you are very similar to Yelis. I think he would have the same problem. And I think that's also why he was reacting like that. And I'm very opposite of that. I actually love that, talking to people, organizing, doing all that, much more than making the thing, like
Sure.
making art, doing the business, doing whatever. So I think it's like you have certain personalities, I guess, and some people are artists, and I think you both are artists. Some
Hmm.
people are more manager types, other people are like, you have so many different personalities, but I think it's like you need to think very carefully, like, what do I want to do?
Mhm.
Of course, in every job, you need to do things that you don't like. Like, if you want to be a movie director, I guess you'll have to work with people because otherwise it's going to be like very hard.
Yeah.
But it's also like, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to be like the manager who's talking to everybody, but who's not really like doing it? Um, or do I want to focus on making movies and then have like another setup, or do I have somebody else who's working with me who is the manager type so I can focus on what I like most?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
And I also think, by the way, that like in the beginning, you might be the one who's managing, but at some point, if you don't like it, you can replace yourself with someone else, right?
Yeah. So there's actually my brother's girlfriend. Jeez.
Your girlfriend. All right.
Same thing.
Tell us about her.
My brother's girlfriend. She's maybe at some point going to take at least the part of managing all the productions and the jobs that are going on. So creating all the lists and seeing who's where and what's happening, and the deadlines and all this stuff, because I don't want to sit in front of those programs and just do that all day. I'd rather do that with her. On the creative side, I would rather try to sort of create a standard with the other guys, so that we're on a level that I can just give my work to them when I want to work on something else, or like, yeah. So just to for me to have more time and freedom to work on bigger things, or other things, or do philanthropic work, to just be able to fly to Madagascar for a few weeks and help there, and have them finish the jobs on the standard that we're all happy with. So I think that would be the goal. And of course, that needs some work, but they're very good, and I'm very excited. So I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm definitely excited actually to hear that you're getting bigger than just you now. But of course, it's also scary at the same time.
Yeah, it's very fast.
But is it too fast? Like, is it like you don't want to? Because it's okay. Like, is this going to the direction that you actually wanted to go?
Yeah, but I thought it would
Like,
be.
is this what you wanna do?
Yeah, this is when I originally started filming. I didn't take photos back then. What I wanted to do is film production, so or directing bigger films, commercials, stories, like real movies. Um, and of course, you can't unless you either work for a production company and then you work your way up within I don't know, 10, 15 years. And I didn't want to do that. And also, I was a student loan. I didn't have any money, so I needed to work, and I didn't want to go back to like working at a cafe or something and working at a production company at the same time. So I thought, okay, I need to make money myself. So, and the only thing you can do then, at least for me, was commercial stuff, because you can't just come up with a script and say, I'm going to shoot it, and you don't have any money to shoot it, because
Sure.
you need people to work with you. So, but what I originally wanted to do is having a production company and creating our own movies. And I thought this would be something when I'm like 40 or 50. And now it starts to go that way, that at least we have a team and we're starting to go that direction. And that's really, really cool. Like it came much faster than I thought, but I'm happy to adapt and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And if it means that I need to manage people a little bit more than before, then that's okay.
Well, it's possible, and especially if it's you who's building this up, it's definitely possible in the beginning that you have to manage people. But
Yeah.
again, if it's not what you like and enjoy, then at some point you got to be able to put another person on that role.
Yeah.
And that you can go on and do the content creation again.
Yeah.
Or the filming,
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree. And especially with my brother's girlfriend, she's very good at organizing things. So I think she can take care of a lot of stuff there.
Okay.
So
I agree. Like, find people who like what you don't like and let them handle it.
Yeah.
That's basically the principle. And like, what kind of like work do you do right now? I'm super interested.
Well, I was just waiting to pose that question to you too. Well, yeah, I do mostly commercials. I can't say the names, but I work with bigger brands or smaller brands. Right now we're doing a bit of fashion. Sports is sort of the main business, but we're sort of growing into other fields right now. So that's what I do. I do about 50% photo, 50% filming.
Mm-hmm.
So photography is just very new. It's been like a year that I've been doing that, a bit less than that. And I'm seeing that you want to say something.
Oh, I was just curious, actually. Why can't you say the companies or the like?
Just to give more privacy to the companies, because some stuff is more private, like stuff is coming out that hasn't happened yet or hasn't out yet. So, I just want to give my clients a bit more privacy because I want to make sure with them that we can talk about that.
Got it.
But yeah, so mainly sports, and now we're sort of dipping into other fields like fashion and a bunch of other stuff. So.
And how do you get the new clients?
That's I don't know. I've been very lucky, but also I spend or used to spend a lot of time sending emails, like cold emails, just sometimes like 100 a day or something. And,
nice, good.
I used to do that, and sometimes it brings cool things like flying to the Philippines and working with a like fancy hotel, and they pay everything, or shooting crazy stuff in Canada. So sometimes it's worth it. Most of the people don't reply. Most of the people, or then most of the people that reply, they are not interested, or they will tell you, okay, we're going to talk to you later, but they don't. But over time, the more references you have, the better your references are, the better your jobs are. You get more responses, and the amount of people that are interested in you just grows. So I still do that. I'm not in the need of doing it right now, luckily, but I still like doing that. For example, I like, for example, when we can't travel, I choose a spot like San Francisco, for example, and I will look for all the clients that I'm personally interested working with. So mainly that's athletes or technology brands or whatever. And I'll write emails with like the references, and then a few people usually reply and are interested in. And then when I go to San Francisco, I have about 10 clients or whatever within the time that I'm there. So not only they pay for my trip, but they pay, my income. So for example, for the team, we're getting someone who does that now full time. So a person that sends out emails almost every day, so that this is happening. And
yeah, I think that's also a thing that many people don't realize, that you don't have to send just to 10 people emails, but to 100 people.
Yeah.
Because then maybe out of the 100, maybe 10 will reply.
Yeah, and then maybe one is interested, and then it might not work out, but if it works out, then you're lucky, and then you get a client.
Yep.
I love the mindset. Like, it's exactly the same as when we talked, I think, in Japan. Then you were also in this hustling mindset. And like, to me, it's like fascinating. Like, where do you get the drive to keep sending emails and to keep like going at it?
I think it's partly anxiety of because I don't have a stable job. I mean, I'm saving money and I'm investing in a few things that I can so far, but the money is not safe. Like, if things like now happen, most of my colleagues are fucked, because there's so many deals. I have a good friend, he works on television for sports television stuff, and he lost his job for the next 4 months because they're closing all the sports stuff. So it's super unstable. So for me, it's always trying to get clients that are not affected by something like that. So a lot of online businesses, and yeah, it just that gives me the push. And also, I think I'm a creative person, but also have a bit of business in my brain. So for me, it's always like, okay, how can we do that? How can we make more passive income? How can we get more clients, or more important clients, or clients that pay more well or better, rather than just doing creative work. So that's what drives me. So a good amount of anxiety and a bit of interest in business.
Yeah, I think necessity is the best motivation
Mhm.
that exists.
By the way, well, I mean, I don't want to switch per se, but to keep the conversation a bit dynamic, what was it? Anything out of your list, Philip?
Yeah, exactly.
Let me see. Actually, like the problem that I wrote down.
Tell me about your problem.
Yeah.
Let's
Philip doesn't
fix
have
it.
I'm gonna take some tissues, guys, first. So 1 second. Now, actually, I wanted to talk about, and this is more like an open conversation, and I don't want to talk too long about this. But
Wait, do we have to set a timer or?
No, but like you'll know why. Like I
Okay.
think there are many people already talking about it. Like Marvin also brought it up. It's like the
Yeah.
corona.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring it up because like it's not directly a challenge for me. I'm still doing okay. I'm still doing business.
But first, what are you doing? Sorry, but I don't know what you're doing right now. It's been a while that we talked, so maybe sum that up real quick. So,
All right. The quick summary. Depending on how long of a summary you want, that will determine if we can stream this or not. So basically, I work at a technology company.
yeah.
We make software. I used to be a product manager there. So basically, like
The
defining
best
roadmap.
one.
What?
The best one.
The best one, of
Well,
course.
that's just Philip. He's always the best one in everything.
At least trying to be the best one. And then, like, since my long-term goal is to have my own company, you need to be able to sell. So I switched within the same company because it's a very, like, it seems like a very good company. Like they win lots of awards, like best workplace, best managed company last year, like top 50 technology companies, like stuff like that. So for me, that's good feedback of, okay, the company is growing fast and it's a good company to work at.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing sales. So I sell one of our softwares. It's like ERP, like a financial software / ERP, which is basically what bigger companies use to manage their financials, budgets, how they make plans for the future, etc.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So quite big programs, which also you said in the beginning, like it takes a long time before people work with you. This is the same kind of product. Like it's a very big product. It's a big investment for firms. So mostly like a deal will take 6 months from the first time I meet the client to the day they sign a contract is like on average 6 months. So it means some contracts are 1 year, 2 years before they actually sign. So
Damn.
quite big. And then, so that's my main focus. And then I have some side projects that I'm doing as well.
Yep.
How many
Actually,
side
like
projects do you have?
to quickly, I invested in a company.
Right. Okay.
Wait, and can you continue with the question that you were asking?
Exactly.
Yes. Oh wait, what?
You were starting to pose a question, and you had a bit of a front story about the, I think, coronavirus, and you were just starting to pose your question.
No, actually, like the challenge I wanted to talk about was basically this. Like, how are you guys dealing with Corona? I don't want to talk about it too much, but it seems to me that it's like today I heard somebody talk about Corona, and it was like, man, I get more depressed from people talking about it than actually what it does, because like, hey, I don't think I have it, But like, how are you guys dealing with it? Like, is it affecting your life? And what do you guys recommend other people to stay safe? Because today I heard some statistics that are like ridiculous. And it's like, for example, so many people will commit suicide because of Corona. That's like one.
What do you mean with ridiculous, by the way? Oh, that okay, I get it actually. That's the effect of the coronavirus, that it's doing stuff like actually where people commit suicide.
Yeah.
Okay,
like,
okay.
It's
Yeah, it's
fucking
true.
crazy. Like,
Yeah.
because we're in isolation, many people, they become depressed. If you're isolated and you're depressed, like, you're more likely to commit suicide. So not only is this like like a physical disease, but like the isolation brings so many other problems.
Mental.
I see people on Instagram posting like, oh, I'm so like super positive people that are like, oh, I don't want to work out, I have no energy, like I'm losing my shit, like all this kind of stuff. And I just quickly wanted to ask you guys, like, I'm feeling pretty okay, so I'll give some of my things as well. But how are you guys keeping up? Are you staying safe and sane? And how? Because I think that can help a lot of people.
I think staying sane is becoming more and more challenge for people the longer this is stretching. But in general, like me personally, I'm doing okay. But I'm definitely hearing more effects on the mental health level of like the well-being of people the longer this is lasting.
Yeah.
And mainly one of the tactics you could say that I'm applying in this scenario is that basically the whole coronavirus is like a big pie, right? And if you just look at it, it's really hard to eat it all at once. And what I'm basically doing is like slicing it in like smaller pieces. So I'm basically, the main goal, the main thing that I'm focusing on is just making it through today. I'm just focusing on one day after the other. That's the only thing that I mainly focus on when I'm feeling super overwhelmed, right? And right now I'm feeling not too overwhelmed or anything, but if I am, then I'm just going down to keeping things simpler and just coming down to just one day, this day. That's the only thing that I'm focusing on, and that's it. And I think that could be a very helpful way. Otherwise, it can become way too overwhelming, as there's also no like end date on it, to just focus on just this day. That's mainly what I would say that I'm using at the moment.
There comes something to my mind, and this is something that you taught me, Yellis, which is posing yourself the question, what can you do about it? Because something overwhelms me, and this is what I learned from you. I just ask myself, like, what can I do about it? And there's absolutely nothing I can do about the virus. Of course, I would love to travel. I lost a little bit of money, but like, to go back to your question, Philip, for me, it didn't really change that much. Like, I'm very lucky to have, a bunch of online clients that are actually requesting more because they have more view time, they have more people watching their stuff. And online clients like have a great time, or most of them right now. So for me, this actually has even helped a little bit. But also, I think in the long term, once the virus is sort of less active or less present, I think it will push at least my business a little bit more. But of course, this is just a suggestion or a thought that that could happen, or a guess. So yeah, I ask myself, when I feel overwhelmed, what can I do about it? And there's absolutely nothing. I'm trying to stay healthy, so I have a bunch of calisthenics gear to train here.
But that's something that you could do about. You can't do anything about the virus per se, right? But you can do something about you and your life.
Yeah, like, I think the most important thing is, besides all the social distancing, and I agree with that, okay, you can do that, is just to stay healthy in general. Like, eat good food and train and boost up your immune system as much as you can. Moving as much as you can. I have a friend who's stuck in Colombia. He hasn't left the house for 42 days. Like,
what?
This is crazy. Yeah, like,
and especially in Colombia, man, I would be out every day.
Holy shit!
But I don't know about the social distancing rules right now. Apparently they're a bit tighter. So he hasn't left the house for such a long time. I would go crazy. So I try to go like early in the morning or at night. I go for a big walk. I train in my apartment, try to eat healthy and see less people, but then the same people more frequently. Yeah. So this is all I'm doing about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good.
I mean,
My battery almost died. 1 second.
God. But I agree. Like, honestly, if you want to prepare for this virus, having a good immune system is the one thing that's going to help you in increasing the chances of surviving it, right?
Not drinking this for sure.
Yeah, okay, sure. But in general, you're an active person, you sleep well, you know, those are already like, you eat well. If you drink a Coke in between, doesn't matter too much, right?
I agree.
But in general, yes, it's just about having a good immune system to be able to fight bacteria or a virus like this to come through it. So I think I personally don't worry too much about like my parents or my grandparents, because I know they're like super healthy. And I very much know that they are able to actually get through this if they would get it. And so if you want to do something, you know, be able, just get your immune system up with having sleep. Wim Hof method is actually a really good one too, then, to get some cold exposure, cold showers.
Probably, yeah.
And just the basic things, right? Food, good food, water, sleep, working out. It's just simple.
What about you?
For me, the same. I would say I was actually thinking about this because so many people, and since we're like thinking about putting this out, it better be useful for some people.
Yep.
So I was thinking, okay, what do I do or what do people around me do that stay sane? One, and this is probably like the number one thing that helps you, is do not watch the news every day. And that's what you guys do. Like, I know why Yellis isn't worried, because he doesn't, like, he's not interested in shit like that. He's interested in making his life better, like making his business better, like all that, like positive people. So I think like people who are watching the news every day and be reminded why it sucks, and be reminded why some people are dying, and be reminded why you cannot go to work, and like that's like that's so bad. So I think that one is really important. Then what you guys said, eat well, sleep well, work out, like try to do something every day. Like I try to work out at noon during my noon break, and that's like become like almost of a habit. I don't do it every day, but like regularly enough to keep me sane. And I really know that when I don't work out at noon, my afternoon I start like becoming like frustrated or like just like less motivated to work. So those things are pretty good. Sleep well. And then for the people who don't have a job or who like who cannot go to work, I would suggest like keep a routine. Like the times in my life where I was like the least productive and happy were the times where I didn't have a routine, where I wake up one day at 10 a.m. Like, no, I never wake up at 10, but like at 9, or then do not have any purpose in my day. Yeah, of course, like when you're not gonna eat a good breakfast and we don't know what to do, like just find something that you want to do, like read a book. This is the perfect time to start reading or learning something new, like a new skill or something you want to do something else with your life career wise, or start making travel plans or whatever. There are so many things that you can do with your day. So keep a routine like of working out and getting up at the same time, and then just doing something. And the last thing that I think is really key is speak to people, like call your friends, call your colleagues, like do not let yourself be isolated and think that you're uh, alone in this world, because that's what the world is going to. Like there are more and more, Yeli said it sometimes, like there are more bigger and bigger cities, and never have people in those cities felt so alone. So I think just call your friends, post something on Instagram, post something on Facebook, reply to people, send text messages, like call them. I think that's like if you do those things, like they might really help.
I agree. And in general, these are like very simple things, but the key thing is in the end to actually do them. But these are really good points. Yeah. And actually, one thing, if like what you said about routine, and I really like that you said it, a routine actually gives a purpose.
Yeah.
And that's a good link actually to make, because a lot of times people are like, why should I have a routine? But it's actually because you have a purpose in the day on what you should do. And in general, like having a purpose just in life is a great thing. Yeah, so that's nice. But okay, that's good things actually that you shared.
So that's enough. Like, I don't want to talk about COVID.
Yeah.
But like this way,
Yeah.
we have like brought a nice message.
But look,
Okay,
exactly.
done with the Corona thing.
We're more casting some positive things, right? Some practical things to apply on that, and not just ramble about it like a whole hour long. But I agree, we shouldn't, because it's already too much out there in the end.
But I also think that we should, at least us three, I think we're very, very lucky in the situations that we're in, because there's many people that have very difficult situations, and
Sure.
and people even in countries like Germany, Belgium, or wherever. But I think we are very much on the lucky side. So maybe if some other people are in a situation that's more difficult, like my friend who is stuck in Colombia, and he cannot fly home, and he needs to fly home to Germany, that's that's difficult already. But I think we are pretty much on the lucky side. But I think there's also a lot of people that don't see the potential in that time.
Right.
So I think you guys are right. Make the best out of it. If you're in a situation like we are, we shouldn't really complain. And
I agree. By the way, like, who would have thought that not getting out of Colombia would have been a problem ever? Like,
yeah, I mean,
it seems like I'm actually like trying to plan a trip like December, January to South America.
Oh, nice.
Really?
I was thinking about going to South America too. Nice.
Wait, any specific place?
We're still discussing, but like with Corona, we'll see if we can Uber out travel. But the idea was to go to Costa Rica, maybe Brazil. Like we're still like doubting, but that would be like a 2-3 week trip where we take like a couple of planes and drive around a little bit. But it was Costa Rica was pretty sure, and like do a surf camp or something, like a couple days, and then like drive to another country or whatever, like something like that. But it's still very vague, and I'm not gonna make any plans right now because too uncertain.
Am I hearing that Bali made you want to surf more?
Yeah, definitely.
So Filip,
on the trip, right? You went together.
Yeah, so exactly. We went to Bali like two months or something ago, and Filip was like for 2 weeks, about 2 weeks there, and he tried surfing for the first time. And to my surprise, it seems like you like it more than you probably thought as well, right?
Yeah, I thought I would hate it actually. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't seem like the surfing type of person. Like the typical surfer is like, yeah, bro, let's chill, let's do some wave, let's take our time. I'm like the opposite. Like, fuck it. Like, I'm not gonna waste any time. Like, I'm gonna do as many waves as I can in the least amount of time, and then I'm gonna go back to work, and then I'm gonna go to this place, and then I'm gonna visit that. And so yeah, this is like a completely new thing, but I really liked it. The only thing is that the back of my legs burned. This is so weird. My whole body was like not burnt except for the back of my legs. But I was paddling too much.
One thing, you know how me and Marvin met, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on the surfing camp. Yeah.
Exactly. In Australia.
Way, can you believe that this has been like 6 years now?
I know, man. Each time when I think about like Australia, because that was a big trip actually for me.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, that's been like 6 years ago. And it's just so fast.
And do you this is a question that I've been wanting to ask you for years, and it just comes to the front of my mind. So for me, I have a special relationship to Canada, to France, to Japan. But Australia and New Zealand, they're those beautiful places. I had amazing times there. I loved it when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But once I returned, for whatever reason that I haven't found yet, it's like, yeah, it's cool. I would go there for vacation, but I don't feel the need to go back. And I know it's weird because it's so beautiful and there's so much stuff to do. I've been thinking about traveling there for a trip, but like Canada or France or Japan, I'm like, okay, I want to go back there for as long as I can. Do you feel the same thing? Or can you?
Yeah, in a similar way, and I think I know why. I mean, first of all, you were there more than one. I mean, you were there for a couple of months, right? So
Yeah.
you already were able to see quite a lot of Australia in a way. But also, I think the nature of Australia, of why people go there in general, are quite a lot of backpackers. And in most cases, they're quite young people.
Yeah.
So I think it could be a country right now that doesn't speak too much to you again, because it's a different age category of why most people go there. And that's personally so I just see Filip flying around for a second there. But that's I think that's one of the reasons, for example, why me personally, I don't directly feel a need to go to Australia again. I've spent multiple months there, and just in general, the people that I will meet when will be traveling through there will be more younger people than people more my age. Not to say that there wouldn't be older ones too, right? And not to say that I'm super old either, but I think that could be one of the reasons. I don't know if that makes sense actually to you, what I just said now.
Probably it does, yeah. But there's also something about the country. I mean, or both of the countries, even New Zealand. I mean, New Zealand is so beautiful, and I met amazing people. You remember, what was her name again in Tasmania? I've been thinking about this you remember who I mean? So Yellis and I, we were working in a nature park, like kind of like a national park in Tasmania. It was great.
It was amazing.
We had to scoop up a lot of kangaroo shit.
We got to drive around in a truck and just watch over like to the kangaroos and just see that they were doing it right. It was so much. It was a lot of fun, actually.
And the tourists thought we were the rangers. So we were like so proud. And like the Chinese people came to us and they were asking like, hey, do you know what this animal does? And we were like, no, we just scooping shit. So that was fantastic.
But I think, I know the two girls, right, that were together, right?
Kayla and...
Oh, yeah. Kayla and Susie. No, Susan.
Susie.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So she was one of the rangers that was working there. And then there was like a younger girl that came now and then. And me and Marvin first thought that it was her daughter because she was like literally quite a lot younger. And then we came to figure out that it was her girlfriend.
Oh, shit.
But I mean, great, amazing people. Yeah. Had so much fun with them together. Yeah, really great memories there.
Yeah. But there was one thing I wanted to say, Philip. I love that you say you're not the typical surfer dude.
Right. Yeah.
But then I remembered learning about that Jocko Willing is a fucking surfer.
Right.
Really?
This guy surfing, like, of course, the wave is just fucking flying away from him.
Exactly.
that wave, and Jocko is on the board, and this like 250-pound guy is crushing onto me. I'd just get the fuck out of here. So,
me too. Yeah, I would be afraid. Like, holy shit, Jocko's coming. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very surprising. Like, I would say, like, that's probably similar.
Actually, go on YouTube and type in Jocko Willing and then surfing and just hear what he has to say about surfing, because it's maybe more that you can resonate with. It's nice. I think because it's true. You have this view of.
I'm gonna note it down.
You have this. Just keep laughing when I see you move. You have this view of surfers that it has to be like long hair, really chilled, and there's some kind of stereotypes in some kind of sports, but it's not. There's so many people who can also prove that wrong, like Jocko Willing, that you can also enjoy it and go very passionate and philosophical on those topics, being a dude like that, for example. So but check that. I think could resonate with you.
But it's
all right. I'm gonna do it. I'm also gonna look up if David Goggins is a surfer. That would be
I'm sure
even more funny.
And
it's like 10 p.m. It's dark, and he's like, "Fuck it, man! I'm gonna keep going."
He would create waves in the ocean himself.
David Goggins.
But
Yeah.
there's something about people that surf that are, in a way, they're like on a different level fit. Like if you look at Kelly Slater, or how's that guy called who lives in Hawaii with his wife Gabby?
Yeah. Gabby Reese.
And what's his name? Jesus.
He also does Wim Hof a lot.
Yeah. He has like this XPT or something. It's like his thing. What's his name? Gabby Reese. She's Jesus Christ. Oh, Hamilton. What's his name?
Laird Hamilton.
Yeah, these guys are old. Like they're like 50 something, and I think Laird Hamilton is even older. Let me see.
That's not that old.
No, but like if you think about athletics,
You should look up The Rock. Like,
that's amazing.
How old is he?
50, I think.
Okay. But yeah, but sure. I mean, with surfing, yeah, you don't need to be. I mean, you can still do it quite at an old age, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. But like, I'm definitely gonna look it up. But I think, surfing. It's good to have like to have something that's like completely against what you normally do, just to balance you out.
Yep.
Yeah,
I very much agree.
It was funny because my teacher, I took like a class, and he was like the typical surfer. He was like 30 minutes late to the meeting. Like, I'm texting him, like I'm in front of the shop, and he's like, "Heh, almost there." And then nothing.
It was probably on a wave.
Like 10 minutes later, he like randomly texts me, "I can see you." I'm like, "What, dude?" And then he's like, "Yeah, it's crazy." Like, he brought me back to because I hit my foot and I forgot my slippers. So I was like bleeding on my foot. So I didn't want to walk. So he brought me like with his scooter. He didn't have like a speed
the meter
thing anymore. Like there was like the thing, but it was like all the way down, just like on the bottom of the thing. It was like ridiculous.
Dude, I had a similar experience in Japan. There's a small island group which is called Okinawa, which is I think closer to Taiwan, and there's amazing diving, and it's really famous for surfing. And I had a client there. It was like an Australian, like a surfer hotel sort of thing, and those were like 3 Australian dudes. They were all like in their 40s, 50s. They were drinking every day, and like this guy picks me up in like a rain season weather, and he like drives on the Japanese highway with like 150, 180 with like his old fucking car. Everything is breaking down, and he was like, he just didn't care. He passed by red traffic lights, nothing. Like he just didn't care, and he was like a fucking surfer dude too. So maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, well, there's definitely some stereotypes that with surfer, with others that they're probably quite relaxed. Many of them, most of them would be, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. By the way, anything else of things that we picked out of the lists.
I actually wanted to ask Marvin. Like, I recently watched 2 great movies. Actually, no, one great movie and one funny one. Like, it wasn't great in the terms of how it was made, but just very funny. One is Operation Odessa. That's the funny one. It's like on Netflix, and it's a documentary about 3 guys who try to sell a submarine, like a military submarine.
We were calling
the Russians.
You were telling me this, but go.
Yeah, this is the funniest shit ever. So you got these American guys, 3 friends, who are trying to buy a military submarine during the Cold War
from Russia to sell to Pablo Escobar.
Is this a real story?
It's a real story, man. Those guys are hilarious. Like, first they go to Russia to buy like motorcycles, and then they buy like more shit and more, and they make so much money doing it. And they're like, okay, let's go to the next fucking level. Let's buy a fucking submarine. And it's about how they do it, how the FBI is investigating them. Like, one of them has like an escort like business. Like, the guys are hilarious. So that's a movie that I wanted to ask if any of you saw it, and like if you did, but definitely check it out. Like,
Yeah,
it's not like, wow, this is great quality of filming. It's just funny. The guys are funny. And then the second one, and this one I think is very well made, and it's called Opération Finale, or Operation Finale. I don't know if it's like it sounds like a French title, but it's like about the Mossad that will kidnap Eichmann, who is a German Nazi, and then like take him to Israel and put him to trial. Have you seen that one?
No, but it seems very interesting. I saw it was produced in the US and Argentina.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that film is, for me, I saw it and I was like, damn, it's really, really well made. Like, no famous actors, but it's a true story, which I already like, and I really liked the acting. So if you get a chance to watch it, like, let me know what you think.
For sure. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch the documentary tonight. This sounds like a good movie.
Wait, and so they're two different kind of movies, right? But why or how come you like both of them so much?
I'm gonna go pee real quick because I had 3 beers.
No worries.
If you want to wait, or if you like, if you want to, yeah, if you want to wait for him to explain,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Let's continue.
All right.
The show must go on.
Sure. So yes, because I'm curious to know what you enjoyed so much about both of them, and they're both different, right? So
yeah, just like the documentary, it's just a funny.
What's the first one again? Operation
Odessa.
Oh, Odessa? Operation Odessa, or
yeah. And the second one is Operation Finale.
All right. Oh, yeah, here. Oh, it's 2018, so it's quite.
It is quite recent, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just actually seeing some photos right now. Okay, yeah, okay. That one I totally get because it's just a hilarious sounding movie already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't have to think. You just watch the guy, and there's one guy who, like, the guy who has like the dance club, or how do you say it, like
strip club, or
strip club, yeah. And it's funny because like he would arrange everything. Like, he has a strip club. If you want to get somebody killed, you can call him. If you want to get drug shipped, you can call him. Like, he's like the guy who does everything. Like, there are 3 guys. Like, one is the guy with a strip club. He's the funniest guy. Then you have one who is like the cool guy, like the sales guy. He buys and sells Ferraris, like really fast cars, speedboats, like he's the real deal. And then you have like the mafia guy, who's like, I think he had like 35 passports or something like that. He's still on the move. He's like on the most wanted list, like from different countries. And he's like the link between Escobar and like the 2 Americans. Like, it's just funny. The other movie, why did I like the other movie? Like, the story was told in a very nice way. Like, I got introduced into the history of Israel and like the Second World War. It introduced me to the feelings of the people. Like, how they felt after the war, because I know like lots of Jews were killed. I know that it was like 6 million people. I know how long the war was, but I actually didn't know like damn, actually, like the Jews, like how did they feel after the war? Like what? And like seeing them do the operation was like, fuck, they want justice, because like everything that happened, I would do the same, man. Like I would try to fucking kill the guy. And then also it introduced me to the Mossad, which I got like very, very interested in like how did they pull off this operation? And that operation
Can you first explain what the Mossad is?
Marvin, do you know what the Mossad is?
I think it's like a secret service, not secret service. How's it called? Like not agency, but like by the Israelis, and it was like one of the top like agents,
elites.
It's like an elite group. I don't know if they actually officially still exist or if they had to close it down or whatever.
Because of Corona, or
yeah,
they were like, guys, let's shut this down. It's too. Oh, but that.
Hang on, I'll check real quick.
Imagine.
I mean, just honestly, the amount of companies and businesses that you wouldn't have expected to close of this. And I mean, well, not to talk about it, but anyway.
The name is, it's called intelligence agency. This is what we're looking for. This is the word.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that's, yeah. Okay, go. Yeah, sure.
That's a very good summary. Like, and actually, like, I didn't know the name was intelligence agency, but that's exactly what they did. I thought it was like a secret service, but it's an intelligent intelligence. You know what intelligence agency. And they introduced me like this operation of Eichmann put them on the map like worldwide. Like from this moment on, everybody was like, holy fuck, they brought down like a Nazi in that country where a lot of Nazis were living. The police was corrupt. Like it was very hard to get them. And then from that moment on, they were included in lots of like operations with the US, like Egypt, like all kinds of stuff. And then I got into like, how the fuck do they work? And then I got interested in like spies, like, okay, what is a spy? What does a spy do? And it's fucking crazy, man. Like in the Middle East, how many spies there are and how important they were for wars. I was completely unaware of this. I just didn't know. I thought a spy was like somebody who's like with like goggles watching shit and then writing it down and sending an email or a telegram. That's not at all what they do, man. Like they infiltrate in like the circle of the king and the circle of the president, and they have like this story about their identity, which is like fucked up how in detail that they have to study it. Like it's not like, oh yeah, today I'm gonna be like a retired soccer player from Brussels, and no, it's like, what the fuck did you do? How did you get rich? Where are your parents? How many sisters do you have? Where does your cousin live? And then like during one of the interviews, there was like a guy asking the spy, what happened to your parents? And then an easy answer is, oh, they died already. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And then it's like, okay, move on to the next topic. But the guy asked, where are they buried? And if you cannot answer that, and you're in like the circle of your enemies who fucking hate your guts, man, you're gonna go through a whole load of pain. To me, that was like just crazy to what kind of a length spies need to go to disguise their identity and how much fucking stress they need to have. It's crazy.
Okay. There's definitely a difference between the two movies. But this one sounds, that's a documentary, right?
It's like between a documentary and a movie about like one operation of the Mossad, but it's super interesting.
Well, Marvin, if you were going to look or watch a documentary tonight, could be a good one.
Maybe I'm gonna watch both. I have an early morning tomorrow.
Anything you guys have found recently? Movies, apps, websites, products, like cool shit. I want to try some new shit, like.
All right.
I have nothing to do in my life. Like Corona is here, so.
So here's some a product that you both already have heard me talk about, but there's also an app with it.
No,
So
bro, I want some new shit.
no, it's new shit.
Okay.
iPad Air, but I'm now actually using it also as a notebook to get notes on. So there's a great app called Good Notes. Maybe you've heard of it. But then I recently bought the Apple Pencil. And actually, let me try something here because I think I can actually screen mirror this screen share. Then I can show how the app works. All right, you guys can see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Okay, see, but honestly, instead of using like just paper, this is such a great thing actually to use because it's super easy to draw and there's so many possibilities. Like you can circle this, you can resize
Holy fuck,
it.
can you circle shit? Damn.
You can but there's a marker and there's endless amount of paper, but and there's even for presentation you can.
Shit, you should have told everybody that, like everybody was going to the shop.
But honestly, instead of using a notebook, like, okay, we both took a wine course last year, right? You and me, Filip. And all the notes that I took on my notes, just on a paper notebook, if it would have been actually here on this, it would have been so much more practical because I can just more easily use it on Evernote, to go through it and to make adjustments. And I don't know. I think, let me stop that here. Yeah. So far, I'm really happy actually in using this instead of a paper notebook, as it's super practical.
I think Marvin could use this for like his production, maybe, no? Like to draw ideas.
And I mean, yeah, that's actually possible.
I mean,
Well, you have the iPod. You have the iPad Pro, which
yeah,
is
so there's a new one that just came out like 2 weeks ago, but pretty much I'm using it for the same things that Yellis is using. So I'm taking notes, and it helps a lot when I'm with clients and we need to draw something. I'm not a great artist or whatever, so I don't really know how to draw, but like you can draw a quick storyboard.
Yeah.
What I really like is that you don't lose your notes. And sometimes I take notes for a client, for example, for a photo shoot, and then I have the notes directly on my computer while I'm working on it. So I find that very helpful. It's not a device that I would ever use in a private life. It's way too big. It's way too expensive. So I wouldn't use it if I wouldn't work with it. But it seems very well, and also the fact that you can edit photos on it. If I would only do photos, I would only use that because it's strong enough to work on the photos, and most of the clients just want a small JPEG, unfortunately. So
Yeah, this is actually one of the reasons why I didn't buy the iPad Pro, because it feels a little bit too big compared to the iPods. Why do I say the iPad Air?
It's definitely bigger than an iPod.
the thing is just that,
and it's also way too expensive. And in general, it's sort of the thing that I don't want to walk around with such an expensive device, actually. And it's also too big just to practically use it, I feel. But I don't know. This for me has been actually a really cool new thing to use Good Notes and then with an Apple Pencil to take notes on, and it's just really practical to use. Yeah, I like it.
And does it sync with your laptop?
Yep. I mean, you have just a whole bunch of settings. You can sync it with your laptop, sync it with Evernote. There's a lot of
Evernote
possibilities.
too. Damn,
Sure.
That's nice. I like it. And like, what does Marvin use it for? Like, why do you prefer to write it down instead of like taking notes on your laptop?
well, First, I experimented a little bit with it. So when I take, for example, I do a review with a client. We have a bunch of photos or videos, and we do a review. We meet up in person. Now it's more, of course, over the phone, so that's different. But we meet up and we talk about certain things. If I bring the laptop, usually they want me to edit right away on location. They want me to make changes right away, which is good, but also it consumes a lot of time. And mostly it doesn't make sense to edit at that time because time is really short and they want to fit as much as they can into that half an hour. So if I take the iPad, I can mark things in the video, I can mark things on the photo, I can write things down with them. We can access in a good quality, but I don't have I don't need to sit there with my hard drive and edit everything. So that was one thing. Also,
makes sense.
Why I like it is if I do just need to work on photos, like let's say I'm going for a week trip and I don't edit video, I can take this. And this is like a 13-inch laptop. Unfortunately, I like the 13-inch laptops more, but they are not as powerful. And we're shooting on like high quality cameras, so we need something powerful. So my laptop is very big, which I don't really like, but it does its job.
And what do you mean with big? Like, sorry, like I know, like strong, like processing power, or
yeah, but therefore
I have a 13-inch laptop too, and I have like 16 RAM, 1 terabyte SSD. Like, is that good or is that not good?
That's I mean, for your purpose, and this is what I'm always saying, like for your purpose, it's perfect. If I wouldn't work in video work or wouldn't do any video work, I would never buy a laptop that's that expensive or something that's so powerful because you don't need it. Yeah. But I have like a 8-core Intel i9 processor, which is like the strongest you can have for that sort of MacBook, and very good graphic cards and everything that you sort of need for good video work. But therefore, it's the 16-inch laptop, so it's quite big. So like if I would only do photo work for a week or two, let's say I'm going on a work trip, but I only do photo work, I can edit the photos on this. Yep. And it's much smaller, lighter. So I like that. And yeah, we do floor plans and we draw on it and it's this sort of stuff. So it's been very useful. You can also set it up with a camera. So it's a screen, which I like. So I can put it somewhere where the client can look at something or one of my team members can control something over that thing. So therefore, it's really good. As a private device, as I said, I would never use it.
Okay. Well, actually, and I would have never actually bought an iPad because I actually bought it because my laptop broke. And I would have actually never thought of buying it. But now that I have it, it's I really love it actually as an extra device because it really improves my workflow. Because do you also know Duet? It's so you can actually use it. It's a program, and that you can actually use your iPad as a second monitor, and then you just connect it with the USB to your computer, and then you have a second monitor, and so it's just so multifunctional for so many reasons. And I actually do use it more for my personal life, for like watching like courses on Udemy or like Netflix. As it's a different device, my laptop is more for work things, and this is more just an extra device that's in there that I use more for personal things, and to make my workflow just a bit easier.
I have exactly the same.
Right. Yeah.
I also have an iPad, and it's also more light, extra gadgets, like not for pure work, but still like some productive stuff, but not work. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
What's a device or something that you really like at the moment, or something that really like an item? It doesn't need to be technology, something that you really just enjoy at the moment.
I have a couple. One thing that I really, really like is I got from the company I work at, we get like a gift every year. And this year we got a Sonos speaker.
The Sonos one.
Sonos, I don't know the name, but like it's the normal one, but I also have the Sonos Move now.
And the Sonos Move, man, that's a piece of technology. It is quite expensive. Sonos
Wait, I actually don't know. It's a speaker?
It is a speaker.
Like from Bose, for example, like a...
Just like Bose. The only difference is that the quality is like double as good.
Okay.
I only used like the Move in like a living room, which is quite big, and it was like a club. Like it was that loud. You can like I can organize a party in like a big apartment with one of them. I now have 2 boxes, but with only one, and it's like lit up. The quality is amazing, and the beautiful thing is with Sonos, it works on Wi-Fi. So I just go on my phone and I put on my Spotify or whatever, and I can choose where do I want to play. Do I want to play in the living room? And then in the living room, I can set up multiple like speakers, and then I can just go around in my house and then just like activate speakers whenever I want, or group them, or split them up. It's like the quality is amazing, and it's both Wi-Fi, so I can do that, and it's also the Sonos Move is also Bluetooth. So if you go outside or you want to take it somewhere, you can just activate Bluetooth and it still works. Like that is to me a beautiful, beautiful piece of like equipment that like I would be proud to be the owner of that company. Like that's like a unique product, which is it is expensive, but it's like it's so good.
It's about...
I use it every day. Every day.
It's about 400 euro. Like it's 375 euros. Sonos Move. I used to say it's even better than Bose.
Much better. I have the Bose SoundLink 2, which is a great little speaker.
Yeah.
I actually brought it, I think, to Bali.
Yeah.
Like it's a great speaker. It's just not on the same level as Sonos.
Damn.
You have to experience it.
All right, throw a party and invite us.
Yeah, are you gonna invite us?
I'm actually like, I will. Like once the Corona is over
next
and I'll
year,
be in Brussels, I'll.
Right.
That was close.
Yeah, looks like a nice device actually. Looks very clean.
By the way, do you know, like originally Kevin Rose talked about this shit.
All right.
And then I was like, but it's like it's really expensive for like just a speaker. But yeah, that's like one product that I really like.
Nice. If there's one that I could think of right now, besides the iPads, it would actually be... It's a laptop stand from the company called Roost, and costs maybe like, I don't know, 35 euros. But it's so good. It's so high quality. And it's really nice to use to have your laptop a little bit higher. Good for your neck. And I don't know. I like it a lot. Have had it now for quite a few months, and haven't regretted. I think it's a great thing. So each time when I use it, it's one of those products when even after so many months now of having it, each time that I use it, it still feels good. It still feels like, you know what it still feels like this is a good product.
You appreciate it that it's there.
Yes.
Like, I love that. This is exactly like there's a book called Delivering Happiness from Tony Hsieh, I think. And he's like the CEO of Zappos, and they like bring shoes, and like their goal is not to sell shoes. Their goal is to deliver happiness, that when people receive the box, they're like, oh, fuck, this is nice. And I know the feeling that Yelis talks about, because like every morning when I light up my Sonos, when I just wake up and I want to put on like some music, it's just like, damn, this is so nice. I look forward to using this product. And this is exactly the same, I think, what Apple has done in the past.
Yeah.
Like what Tesla is doing right now. Like Tesla Tesla people. Exactly. Like that's so inspiring. I want to build a product like that, or a service. Like when people talk about you, that they say like, damn, I'm so happy
I'm so happy to be using this.
I mean, from all the compliments that you can get from a service or a product, if that's the one that even after months of already having it, you still smile and still feel like happy to use it, that's the biggest compliment I think you can have.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's a lot of stuff that just adds on to your list of what I said, like you need to charge or things that you just have, like clutter stuff that you have. And I like every few months I go through the stuff that I have and I just try to get rid of things that I wouldn't miss.
Mm.
And,
really? That's good, man. I had to read a book about that shit to do that. I'm a hoarder.
Which one? Which one?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I know the book that you don't want to say the name because everyone has been talking about this goddamn book.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I'll give you a clue. It's a Japanese book.
Jesus Christ. Oh, really?
By the way, there's also a Netflix series from her, Marie Kondo.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't, but I know people that didn't know.
It's going well, right?
Yeah, but I know people that talked about her that didn't read her book, and they were like, "Yeah, it's because of the Netflix series." And I was like, "What? Okay."
Crazy.
Just her whole business is around cleaning people's house.
But honestly, it's sorry.
What?
This is like the smartest move ever. This is something that everyone can do. Like I'm a bit more on the minimalistic side, and even I could do that. Like I have
Maybe
so much stuff that I don't need.
Sure, but I mean, there's a whole philosophy behind it. There's just a lot of passion actually behind what she does, and you can definitely see that. And so,
dude, like that book is really like it helped me a lot because I am not naturally somebody who's like super organized or whatever, and I'm also somebody who's like, maybe I will use this like 5 years from now once.
right.
Okay, never mind, next item. And that book really like it got rid of a lot of shit that I didn't need. So
To drop the title of the book, it's the magic of tidying up, I think.
the life-changing.
The life-changing magic by Marie Kondo.
Marie Kondo.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It is good. Yeah.
Like Marvin, what are some products that you love to use? I'm actually like thinking of some other shits. I have one more.
Love to use.
Yeah.
Well, I talked with Yellis about this last week. Actually, after we finished calling, I received my piano. I've never had a piano lesson. When I moved to Canada, we just had a keyboard in the apartment, and I always wanted to play piano. I originally learned to play guitar, and there was something about piano that I really wanted to learn. And after it's been like 10 years that I wanted to have a piano now. And now I just finally decided to buy a piano. It's like a digital piano. It's not like the fanciest. It's been like, I think it was like 650 euros. So it's expensive, but for a piano, it's not that much. But for me, it has been worth every cent. And even sometimes when I don't want to play, I will sort of discipline myself to play because I think sometimes I really want to play and I sit there for hours just playing, like in the dark room, just playing by myself. And sometimes, I just got like
that sounds very weird, by the way. Like sitting in a dark room playing.
That sounds weird.
Are you naked as well?
I've been playing in underwear and I don't have curtains, so my neighbors can directly look into the living room where it stands. But like, I made this rule for me, like every morning after waking up, I need to play at least 5 minutes. And, after waking up, sometimes you don't want to like do something like that right away. But I made this rule, and every time I
Dude, sorry, Marvin, we're just going.
You're disciplining yourself to play every morning. Damn, bro.
Yeah. No, but.
No. I get it, and it's a very good practice.
It's absolutely amazing. I mean,
all right.
We're like 5-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly.
But please go on.
Yeah,
So
so I really enjoyed that. Like when I start playing, I just I just
Yo,
enjoy.
everybody can relate, man.
Well, well, yeah. So that's a device that I really, or like an item that I really enjoy. If I would go for a cheaper thing, I would like to have something that's not that expensive because
one thing, by the way, how come it took you 10 years to find, like, what was the thing right now after 10 years that you said, like, okay, I'm going to buy a piano now?
I think first it was money, because 10 years ago I couldn't just buy a piano,
Yeah.
frankly. And then, I didn't know how to play. Like,
Well, yeah, okay, but you don't know
so for
how.
me, a long time I thought, well, okay, first I need to get classes, and first I need to do this and that. Actually, for me, it was just really important to just buy it, and now I know how to play chords, and that helps me a lot. You can do so much with it. Like, as I always say, like with the basics, if you just work on your basics, you can do so much with that.
Yeah, an easy way to actually sound beautiful playing piano is just playing chords.
Yeah,
It's a very easy way to actually sound really beautiful, and it's super easy to learn.
that's what I've been doing. So I really enjoy it, and yeah. So I don't know why it took me so long, and I don't know. I just did it, and what actually motivated me to do it now is I was or I am still a big fan of Mac Miller, and
Yeah.
I liked his later music a lot too, when it was more jazzy and sort of more wild, and he was composing most of the stuff himself and playing piano, singing to it. And I watched a documentary on him, and I saw him having so much fun that it reminded me of buying a piano. And I was like, okay, you know what? Why don't I just do it? I can return it if I don't like it. And then, I got it, and I was really, really happy, or I'm still very happy with it.
Nice. Well, I'm actually super glad that you bought it, and 10 years is definitely a good amount of time to not regret buying that, I think. But good.
This is something that's my only, I think, regret from my youth, that I never learned how to play, and I would also love to play piano, but I actually concluded that it's too late, and I also don't want to spend the time now, but maybe in the future I will.
All right, so it's more of a thing of now then, that right now you don't want to spend the time on it.
Yeah.
Okay, because even learning, you don't have to spend hours, even getting at some decent level, just doing half an hour every day could already bring you to a level.
Okay, but like half an hour is a big commitment.
That's why I told
yes,
myself 5 minutes in the morning, 5 at night.
For example, yeah,
minimum that I do.
You can use it as a way exactly to do it in the evening, to sort of chill out and to relax, or in between when you're taking a break. I play piano and guitar whenever, a lot of times when I'm actually taking a break.
Yeah, I know, but you can only, I think that's my opinion, I don't know, but like I think you can only start relaxing when you have a certain level of competency.
Yeah, that's true. Otherwise,
it's like I go to the gym now, and I go there and I relax. Like, of course, I'm like tired and like, but like that's a kind of a relaxing. If you've never worked out and you go to work out, you're not gonna relax. So I think it's the same thing here.
That's true. Yeah, in the beginning, with many things, it will bring more frustration, maybe, because it's new. You don't know what the hell you're doing. Yeah, but when you do know, then it's more fun, actually. Fair enough. Yeah.
And I think Marvin already has some skill of like from his backgrounds. So I think, by the way, Marvin, if you're like interested, I have 2 more recommendations of like documentaries. One is from Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones?
Yes. It is legendary. Like, Quincy Jones is like a music producer. He's like a very good friend of, I think, Ray Charles. And his documentary is about his life. Yelis, you would also really like it. It's super inspirational. The guy is 80 years old. He has friends all over the world. He's a legend. He came up when black people had no rights or much less rights. Like, he made his life through music. He had so many stories, so many adventures. It's amazing.
By the way, he's 87. He was born in 1933. Jeez.
Exactly.
He's an American record producer.
Yeah.
Yes, but he made music, and he's also like, I think, like, if you're into music, I think you will really like it, because he embodies like the music. And I was hooked in the first minutes. Like his house, it's like it starts with like a scene with this wall with all records and like history, and it's like, man, I think it's the same with movies, but like, if you're 80 and then you have like a beautiful house with like your history of like legendary songs you made, I think like that's the moment where you realize I fucking made it.
Do you think this exists? I've been asking myself this in the recent days. What's the point where you made it? Because I think it always moves with you.
Yeah, of course. But like, I think I don't know, like, that's a very good question.
Maybe on that level, maybe if you were this crazy, successful and good, but I've been asked by like my brother, he said, oh, wow, you made it. And I'm like, but dude, I didn't make it yet. It's going to take years and years and years. It's going to take 50 years until I'm at some point close to somehow making it, maybe. Like this probably never going to happen.
To your definition then.
Yeah.
But I have the same. I think I'm the same as you, Marvin. Like, but yeah, I don't know. But like, I do think there is a point where if they're making a documentary about you and Dr. Dre is coming to you to interview you, and he says like, you're my inspiration, like you are the reason why I make music. Yeah. And then you have like all kinds of people. Like, I don't want to give away too much of the documentary, but like, it's just inspiring wherever he goes. Like, all the top people in music, they're all like, oh, Quincy, how are you doing? Like, it's so nice to see you. You inspired me. Like, it's cool. It's right. Cool. He inspired a generation of musicians. And the second one,
Netflix?
Netflix, yeah.
Okay.
And the second one, and this is my favorite documentary of all time on Netflix.
Of all time.
Also.
All right, here he comes.
I think, Yelis, I already talked about this with you, and this is called The Defiant Ones. And it is about Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine, who make beats by Dr. Dre, like the headphones, and sell it to Apple. And this is like a beautiful symphony, like it's 4 episodes, and you see how music, culture, and business intertwine.
Right.
For me, that was like, I watch it again and again and again. That's how much I like it. So no obligation, guys, to watch it, but like, just watch the trailer, and if it interests you, like,
yeah,
watch it.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the reviews, and they're pretty amazing.
It's my kind of series, so.
You like the combination of business and culture, and probably like another part like passion, you know, that combined is seems like a good combination.
Exactly. Like business in general, like if it's just a business documentary, I will probably like it too. But like, yeah, I like, yeah. And I think you will like it too, because I can see in you also like the link between like the artist and like the business person. So
I would even say something more like, I never say I'm an artist. I never say I'm a business person. I'd rather say it's some sort of craft, that because it's something very physical. I love having a camera in my hands. I love building ideas. I think that's what I love the most, like telling stories, creating something with my own hands.
Mm-hmm.
I can't draw. Yelis and I were talking about this. I can't draw. I can't do anything like this. Like everything I draw looks absolutely horrible. But I really like that.
Right, but like art comes in so many forms. There's probably amazing people who can draw, who can't play music at all.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So it's not like that you're not talented if you can't draw.
Oh no, but yeah, Jens, would you ever say you're an artist because you're a photographer, or you know?
I don't mind actually saying that, because what I do in the end is mainly create content, and that is a form of art. And I have talked with people actually about this. Someone else who also just struggled, saying that she was an artist despite what she was doing, was definitely creating art. And I'm kind of curious to know how come that you have trouble saying that you're an artist.
I don't know.
Because it's sort of like accepting that you are something, that you might have worked for quite a lot of years.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I just feel that a sort of craft or storytelling, or like I've never said I'm a director or something. I hope I haven't said that. Or I'm a producer or something. I always say I'm a filmmaker or photographer. Like you can call so many things, or the same thing you can call so many different things. I just feel like I can identify myself more with a craft and creating the process of, instead of just saying, oh, it's art, I'm just coming up. I always have a negative connotation to I'm an artist. I don't know why. I respect it when someone else says it, but for me, I don't think I want to identify with that.
Well, maybe because it's overused by so many people.
Maybe. Yeah.
I can see why you don't like it. It might be because it's something vague that people say on like parties, that is like very superficial. Oh, sorry. Like, it's like when somebody's like drinking their wine in a special. Oh yeah, but listen, I'm an artist. That's why you don't understand me. You're not on this. Exactly. Like, it's like something.
It's making something more important or more flashy than it is. Like, yeah.
For some people, of course, there are many people who say it without but like, I can definitely see how that's like,
But I agree, and it's not like I say like I'm an artist, but if someone says that you are, or like that, I don't like minds. But it's the same. It's the same when people call themselves an entrepreneur. It's exactly. It's super vague. That I have no clue what the hell they're actually talking about and what they're doing.
Yeah.
To me, that's. No, continue.
I don't like to say that either. I don't like to say the word business. I don't know, business person, businessman, entrepreneur. I don't like to say anything like this. Like, I don't know. For me, this is really like the same with startup. These are like the bad words that I'm trying not to pick. Even if it's the same thing that I'm doing, like it would be the same thing. But I'm just trying to sort of leave those words out of the conversation.
But I don't mind when people say that and then actually explain what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Like, but I also think that I used to be, or I think many people are, like, if somebody says I'm an entrepreneur, it's like, wow, are you an entrepreneur? Damn, shit, that's so huge. And then when I hear I'm an entrepreneur and they do not say anything else, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like rolling my eyes.
Because you know better, right?
It's like, okay, tell me what you do then.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like being an entrepreneur, like it's not hard to actually like start a company.
Yeah.
Or if people say that they're like serial entrepreneurs, then
the question is if it's successful what they've done or not, right?
That's the thing. Like, most serial entrepreneurs, they do it like this. Successful ones, they build a business, they make it big, then they start the second one, they make it big, the third one. But then there are like people who's like, yeah, I have like 5 businesses. I'm like, I do one thing and I do not have enough hours in the day. Like, how is it possible to do
So it's like, yeah, sometimes.
I know, and it's the same
Word.
in a certain way when people say that they speak 6 languages, but like, what the hell does that mean? Like, just saying one words in a language doesn't mean that you speak it, right?
Exactly.
So you also said, Filip, that you had another device.
Oh yeah.
Which ones?
Caught you off guard. Bam.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, like, this is one thing that we all use it, but it's like Netflix. It's only like a month or so since I use it. Like, before I had it, but I never watched it because I don't have the time, or I didn't take the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to say Netflix is like a really good product, but I would say it's a really good company, because if you see what they made, it's incredible. Like, not only the platform, but they make amazing movies as
I know.
well. Like, the best things that I see is like, now if it says Netflix original,
It's
for
gonna
me
be good,
that's
right?
like a quality label.
Yeah.
Like Amazon Prime.
Like Amazon Prime. Like, it's crazy. And that's like for a company that's in existence for like 20 years, not even 20 years, I think. So for me, that's like also something I really, really like, and take my head off.
Is that something that you would say is something underrated? You know, when things are really underrated or overrated, like, is that an example for you where you say this is so underrated, or do you have anything else?
The product underrated?
Yeah.
Yes, but I think now many apps, because like I did for a brief while like product management and stuff, so I learned a lot about UX design, like user experience.
Mhm.
And it's like, I think lots of apps are so well made. They're so smooth. Like, the first time, like, remember 5 years ago, you opened an app and then you didn't know where to click or how to start. Now you have apps that you've never. I tested one today, like GoWatt. It's like a mobility app
Yeah.
thing. Man, I used it for the first time. It was so smooth, and like the design, it's like, it's well made because it functions right. Like, it doesn't crash. It does what it's supposed to do, but it's also explaining itself,
Yeah.
not by a video, just by the design itself. And I think those things are super underrated.
Yeah.
In general, if you don't work in that field, then you don't pay attention too much to that.
Yeah, like,
And so for sure, it's definitely then underrated in that way.
It's like websites. If you think about websites like 10, 15 years ago,
Right.
this was horrible. And now you have websites and you instantly know, I just need to scroll down. There's no fucking menu. It's all super simple and smooth.
Yeah.
Like, it's super beautiful. Like, all the websites, like, you sign up for Squarespace or whatever, Wix or whatever, and it looks absolutely amazing. Like, at
Yep.
least I'm an amateur at this, but for me it looks super good. And
well, the good thing is that they actually make it for people who are amateurs,
yeah.
and even they can make it look professional. Like, that's their goal, right?
Yeah,
and they 100% succeed already with that. You don't need any skills, to be honest. Yeah.
What are actually some of the apps that you guys use, like outside of the normal, like Messenger, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram? What are the apps that you guys use and that are helpful or just nice?
You know, one that actually one that directly comes to my mind now is actually Udemy, but not as an instructor myself, but actually as a student. I recently started actually enrolling in a couple more courses on there and actually using Udemy more. And it's such an amazing, website and mobile app on the iPad to use, super smooth, well designed, and the amount of courses on there are so good of quality. And I mean, I'm producing courses myself, but it's also super interesting to see the quality courses that other people are crafting and creating, and I'm really enjoying it, actually using it myself.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
and the interface is really good. Udemy's interface is really good, I think.
yeah,
So
and their
it's also
mobile app is
yeah.
so good, and this is why I also love using the iPads to actually follow courses on there, because that's where you can download them offline, and it just works super smoothly on there.
Any
So
courses to recommend also?
Oh
yeah, well, I mean, well,
Plug.
can recommend all my courses, but one
Just
that
swipe up, guys. Swipe up.
but I mean, of course, I can recommend courses, but these are in topics that I'm interested in. But one that I'm following right now is, for example, one on character drawing, like character design, drawing characters.
Like animation or digital?
Yeah,
or...
basically anime, and it's something of a new skill that I'm actually at the moment digging into more, into drawing, and this is where you can use the iPad actually for that too. And
Nice.
yeah, and honestly, it's a course with over 1,400 5-star ratings. It's
Wow.
a really good one, and the instructor is amazing. And I think the name is character design or something like that. But it's over 30 hours of material. It's
Wow.
if you ever want to pick up some drawing, then I would recommend that course.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the current one that I'm following.
Any courses you could recommend to me that you have followed or that seemed interesting?
French for beginners. Will be very interesting for you, Filip. For you as well, Marvin.
Okay.
I'm not a beginner anymore.
I actually, yeah. Seth Godin has also well, actually, I don't think this is a good one for you. It's more for freelancers, but Seth Godin has a course on Udemy. But
Is
it's
it
actually
the online MBA?
I can't remember the name, but I don't think it's
Okay.
the online MBA. He has multiple ones, but this one was directed to freelancers.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't directly think of a course actually that I could recommend to you.
No worries.
Besides the French for beginners course.
Should I tell the story of when we were skiing? When we were in Val Thorens.
I don't know the story, so please share it.
You don't know? You were in the story, dude.
Of course, but I can't remember which specific one that you're.
So me, Yeris, and Jeroen, we went for a skiing trip in Val Thorens 2 years ago, and we went to a restaurant. And since Yeris didn't speak any French,
I know
he wanted to order stuff, and he wanted to like just speak French. So sometimes he would ask like, okay, how do you say this or that or whatever? Just like he didn't know much French then. Now it's like much better because like he listened to some audio and stuff.
Still on a noob level compared to you guys.
Okay. And then we were in a restaurant and he's like, okay, yeah, no, let me ask for the check. And we're like, okay. And then I don't remember what we told you, but it was like, hey, you can put the check in your ass or something. And and Yanis was like practicing it like out loud. We're like, yeah, almost. No, like this. And it was like speaking it. And he was like, actually like 100% convinced that like this was like, can I please have the check? But I think like at the last moment we're like, no. This is too much because it was like a fancy restaurant, so we couldn't really.
I have horrible things like this. When I learned Japanese and I was in Japan the first few weeks, I asked someone if he is the toilet instead of where is the toilet. And this guy was, and I mean, he was Japanese, so he's super polite. And he looked at me and he's like, huh? And I'm like, are you the toilet? And he's like, he showed like downstairs. And like, I remember a second time I was with my girlfriend at that time in France. I just moved from Canada to France. And I met her parents and we were in a fancy restaurant, sort of fancy. And I am telling her mother that my girlfriend is always horny in bed instead of saying that he's always warm in bed. And That was like one of the more
Getting
embarrassing.
very intimate there.
Yeah. So that was embarrassing. So, but now I'm never gonna make that mistake again.
Damn, nice.
That's
By the
the
way,
way.
there is on YouTube, there is like a video of like an American guy who speaks Japanese or Chinese. I think it's Japanese, but I'm not entirely sure. Where he goes to like Japanese places and he just sits down and he speaks English. And then you can hear like the Japanese lady say like, look at this fat ass. He's coming to eat here and blah, blah, blah. then he like listens for like 5 minutes and then he speaks in Japanese to them. It is
Oh,
hilarious.
that's so good if you can do that.
Man, that's so good.
Also
Yeah, I agree.
maybe this is the same guy, but I'm sure he speaks Chinese. He's completely white. He looks American. I think he's American or Canadian, and he speaks like fluent Chinese. And he goes to Chinese people and tells them that he was adopted by Chinese parents because his Chinese is so good. So he speaks with like different accents from the region, and like he's like extremely good. I mean, I don't speak any Chinese, but like he seems to be incredibly good. And they are like, oh wow, are you born here? And he's like, yeah, I was born here, or like my parents are Chinese, they adopted me. This is super amazing. Like,
Yeah.
So guys, out of the list, is there anything else that you feel like sharing, or is there something else that you want to talk to us?
I have something. I wrote this down, but then I saw that someone else was faster than I was. Interesting people that you have encountered, or people that you've met either in real life or online, people that you've been fascinated by. So I don't know who wrote this down, but I wanted to ask the same question. So this is really interesting.
That list, by the way, was a suggestion list, not per se who was already going to talk about it. So if you have someone, then please share it.
Or are you more interested in our thing?
Yeah, I wanted to know who you are currently interested in. Like, if there's a person that you're fascinated by, maybe it's an all-timer, like a person that you're always fascinated by because of what this person does, or if you have someone new. I have a bunch of people in my head, but I would love to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
All right. I think I wrote that down, but it was more as a topic suggestion, not per se because I had someone. But so if you guys have someone, if you have one, Filip.
I wrote down three that I'm currently interested by. One is James Clear. He wrote a book, Atomic Habits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I read the book. It's a very good book. It's basically like I think his contribution to, because like habits are quite well known now, but like his contribution is basically that he pulled out all the information from different sources and brought it together in a practical way to build habits.
Okay.
But so the book is really good. I would suggest it, but I actually follow him on Twitter. And he posts he posts brilliant stuff there. Like daily, he posts like things that you stop and think like for 2 minutes about and then continue with your day.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's really good. And he also has like a newsletter with like, I think 500,000 people or something like that. And I subscribe to him too. So it's just like common knowledge that he reminds you of. So that's why I'm quite interested by him. And then two others are in the investing world. One is Warren Buffett, and the second one is Ray Dalio. And why those two? Because with this like Corona shit going down, I read the book of Ray Dalio, Two Principles, also legendary book. And he basically says like, whatever happens now has happened in the past like 2,000 years. And with Corona, it's just interesting to see how he sees the world and how it will change. And also right now, apparently, we're at the end of a 75-year cycle of
basically like growth in an economy. What?
I heard the same thing by someone else. I was going to talk about it in a bit. This is fascinating. That's why it's blowing my mind. Amazing.
Yeah, it's very true, because I hear it from different sources and different people are talking to me about this. And like, apparently, I don't know, like, I don't know too much about it. It's still like something I've recently discovered and I'm like now delving into, but it's super fascinating that every 50 to 75 years, there is a new world order. For example, after the World War, for example, there was a new world order. Before that, there was like maybe the Industrial Revolution, and that like those big shifts shift everything in the world. Like everything from wealth distribution, like who is wealthy, to who will be wealthy. And it's just interesting to see now what they are saying. And also Warren Buffett talks a lot about stocks, of course, and like what is value and how is it determined. And he doesn't buy, like he says, Corona affects me, but not because airlines close in the now, like in the next 4 months. He's thinking about in 10 years, how will people travel? And obviously that could change. Like Tesla could build like a tunnel from America to Europe, and we will take the tunnel instead of an airplane. Like that's probably a long like a long shot, but like those kind of things happen. Like everything will happen digitally. How will businesses change and stuff? So those are the things that I'm currently really, really fascinated about. And I wish I could tell you more, but I'm still about it.
All right, that's some interesting, or I haven't heard of the 75 or the 50 to 75 year thing, but it makes sense actually. So, okay. Did you had any people, recent ones that you felt very interested in, Marvin?
Yeah. So I have an all-time fascination with Tim Ferriss and Joe Rogan, and there's a couple of others. They're a great inspiration. I love the content that they're creating because it taught me to be very open-minded. And actually, Yellis was the person that introduced me to podcasts, and I remember when and where, and it was on the road.
By the way, I'm the original then, because I probably introduced Yellis to it.
So I actually just wanted to mention that this is the cycle right now. Filip introduced me to podcasts, and I think even the first one could be Tim Ferriss, and then I mentioned it to you.
The first one that you introduced me to was Gary Vaynerchuk.
Right. Probably because on that
on fire, and I hated how he's an entrepreneur. Every single time this guy was fucking shouting at us while we were driving through Iceland, and I was thinking, this podcast stuff is shit.
No. Okay, so sorry to interrupt, but that was probably one of the next sort of podcasts that I got into. But this was like years ago, and it's called EO Fire, Entrepreneurs on Fire. And nothing, I mean, it's a good beginner podcast for entrepreneurs, right? It's nothing in-depth, nothing complex, nothing going into the details. It's just to get you fired up. That's basically it. If I would listen to this now, I would also be like, what the hell? But here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing that I'm actually super proud of. I think this was like 3-4 years ago that I said, like, one day I am going to be on this podcast. And 2 years ago, I was a guest on that podcast.
Nice.
Yes. And I remember in Barcelona getting the email from John, so the host, that he asked me to come on the podcast. And I was like, what the fuck?
I thought this was Gary Vaynerchuk.
What do you mean?
Yeah, no, I thought the podcast that we listened to was Gary Vaynerchuk, but it was someone else then. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. It could be Gary Vaynerchuk as well. But I know that EO Fire, like that was one that I used to listen to quite a lot in the past.
Yeah, I think.
But then Gary Vaynerchuk, it could have been that I introduced you to him as well. And if you don't know him, then you can get quite annoyed at how he talks. And actually, if you're talking about someone that yells, then it's probably him.
I think I was putting them both together. The EO Fire we were definitely listening to.
Yeah.
And I thought it was Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah, could be.
Later, I think he was guest probably. I don't know. But later, I was sort of confronting myself with Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm not opposed to him. I think he has great thoughts. I just think his message or his delivery is different. And I do like the delivery of, let's say, Tim Ferriss a lot, because he's not the busy, fucking crazy businessman. I think he just seems to work smarter, which I really like. Like, he has time to like go out and shoot guns or train, or he's very smart about his actions. And of course that's what he's portraying and showing. And he seems to be the guy who has always time and is really enjoying his life. And besides, he's a super successful guy, whereas Gary Vaynerchuk is just going after it every single day, not sleeping, no nothing. And I can identify myself more with Tim Ferriss. That's why I prefer his delivery. But I think they have a lot of similar messages and thoughts, which I think are just fair to do. But besides those, as an all-time runner, and I love Joe Rogan. I'm listening to his podcast almost every single day. I'm obsessed with Eric Weinstein, who was a guest on Joe Rogan, who has his own podcast. I've suggested it a couple of times.
So that podcast is, by the way, called The Portal.
Yeah, and I think it's, for me, it's sometimes very challenging because his chain of thought is very quick. He's super smart. He is very well. He's speaking very fast and very well. And for me, this is challenging sometimes. And he's very rational. But
by the way, can you explain? Because I've seen the name come up a few times, but I don't know what he does or.
He's the brother of Brett Weinstein, who was like in this how's it called? This college problem that they have with social justice warriors, but also he's a mathematician for Peter Thiel. So for Thiel, Thiel International, whatever his company.
Is it like the company who decodes like?
Jesus, sorry guys,
No worries.
Sorry.
Is it like Peter Thiel's investment firm or the thing where they? Okay.
Yeah. So Thiel's investment firm, and he's also a friend of his, and I just really like the way that he's being rational about almost every single thing, and I really find it very admiring. I really like his way of thinking. So
you can kind of put him in sort of the list of like Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris, in a way that they're all super rational thinking. They don't go emotionally in any subject. They just really try to understand the subject and just come from a very rational point.
Which is the opposite of what I do. And I really like to sort of learn from them, because I'm more of an emotional thinker rather than rational. But I like the rationality, and I like it as it makes sense to me. And I think it's good to have both parts. And sometimes I don't agree with them, or a lot of times, but I can learn so much out of every conversation, every sentence that he is saying, or Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris is saying. Sometimes I don't even agree with their opinion, but
of course, and that's fine, right?
Yeah, and what I really like about them is that they are discussing on a very high level, but there's a lot of respect. And there's, even if they're discussing a topic that they both don't agree, let's say Sam Harris and Eric Weinstein, they give each other the space to talk about stuff. And I think this is really great. I really enjoy that. So if I don't want to listen to a 3-hour conversation of Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz telling great stories.
Dude, I love Joey Diaz.
He's amazing.
But now he's like repeating too many stories. Yeah. I stopped listening, but like Joey Diaz, man, I love that guy.
Can you imagine that I actually have not yet listened to an episode with Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz?
No, I cannot. How can you?
Just, okay, I'll give you a tip. This is what I do when I'm like completely
when I want to relax, there is a compilation of Joey Diaz.
Oh yeah.
There are 4 compilations, man.
Okay.
They are hilarious.
This guy, from a storytelling point of view, I think Joey Diaz is the person that is most interesting in the world.
Yes, I actually like listened to like for a period of time. I just listened to the way he told stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can draw you in a way that's like with his pauses and the intonation, and then he's like, it's amazing.
This guy has a million life. He's lived a million life. It feels like this stories, and you can feel his heart and his goodness, like how he's thinking. And then on the other side, he tells you the stories of being. I don't want to say too much for you yellows, but like
don't spoil.
Crazy criminal that did crazy things.
Yes.
What? All right.
And you see him, and you're like, this guy did this. Like, what the fuck is going on? He's amazing. Like,
all right, you're definitely selling him.
You will laugh your ass off
off
about him kidnapping somebody.
Yeah.
And you will laugh about it. You're like, oh, this is the funniest guy ever.
Or like shitting in the garden or whatever. He has so many stories. Like, it's really amazing.
You know who is also to me a very funny storyteller? Eddie Bravo.
Oh yeah, I like him. We're just completely different.
Yeah. I like his stories. Yeah, he's a very funny character too.
Yeah. So those are the people that I really focus on at the moment. So
I like. To me, Joe Rogan is also one of the people who has made it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, he does what he loves.
Yes.
He just has conversations with people he loves, and he makes millions from it.
Yeah.
He does comedy because he likes comedy. He does UFC because he loves martial arts, and he does podcasts because he likes speaking to interesting people.
I know.
I think it's so amazing just that there is finally something like where people can talk, even if you oppose to their opinion. And he has had people like Ben Shapiro, whatever. Like, there's many things that I wouldn't agree with, but I find so amazing that he has space to talk, and like they actually engage in a real conversation, and they discuss, and they don't agree, and still they're nice to each other. And I think that's so beautiful. And I think he's one of the most influential people because of that. Like,
I mean, I think that podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, is the most listened to podcast just in the whole world.
I mean, he has millions of views on 3-hour conversations with Joey Diaz talking about places where he took a shit. And then and the next day he has a conversation with, I don't know, some physician, or with people that had crazy lives or have crazy lives, people that have experienced things that are just really interesting to listen to and learn from. And I think that's so great. Like, I think this must be so amazing just to have a conversation and getting paid for that, and being so genuine like he seems to be. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, but if you talk about people who made it, Joe Rogan for me is definitely an example as well. If you just look why, it's basically he just loves and enjoys his life.
Yeah.
Like, that for me is a pretty good definition of someone who made it.
Yeah.
And also he's not like I think he has more time than Tim Ferriss, for example. Like, he goes out on bow hunting trips and like
yeah.
Dude,
and
what a life.
And what I love is that he seems like the fucking gym head and like the fucking martial artist who just likes to fight. And he's such a smart person of what I've seen. I don't know him personally, but I love that he's breaking the stereotype. Like, he's tattooed, he's fucking buff, he smokes weed, but then he can keep up with a mathematician like Eric Weinstein, who's just like intellectually on a level that's really high. And I love that. I love that this gym guy who commentates martial arts and is a comedian is so well read, so articulate, so smart. I love that. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, he goes against the stereotype of what most people would think.
Yeah. So very inspiring.
Yelis, you?
Honestly, okay, when I have to think about something, it means that probably nothing directly.
I'm gonna put you on the spot and just pause.
There isn't actually at the moment directly someone.
Take your time.
Okay, if you have half an hour, I can do some research. No, honestly, there isn't someone directly that actually comes to my mind that I've been paying a lot of attention to.
Sarah Underwood.
Besides her, then of course, and some other Instagram models. Marvin, do you know Sarah Underwood?
No, I'm gonna Google her.
Well,
she's also a mathematician, I
think. Yes, she's yeah. She once was able to crash Instagram.
Oh Jesus! Okay, yeah.
I think it's.
Yeah. Okay, I understand why you're kind of fascinated.
You found a photo?
Yeah. You know what I found very interesting about Eric Weinstein? He interviewed the woman that's.
Oh yes, Ashley. It
was great.
I actually recently listened to that as well, and maybe you know her by a different name.
Riley Reid, and everyone who doesn't know her name is fucking lying.
I don't know her name.
Check her on Google, dude. You will know her. But her name is Ashley Matthew or Ashley Matthews, yes. But he actually interviewed her on his podcasts because Riley Reid is a character that she's playing, right? It's not like the real her. And basically the topic was about being a porn star and just the porn industry, but from just a rational point, not going into the details too much, but seeing them actually, because they many times don't seem to be a human porn stars. If you would walk into a porn star and they would tell you that they are, most people would not really accept, I don't know, or be okay with that. And basically the whole conversation was more about humanizing, or how do you say, just that of being a porn star. But it was a interesting topic to listen a bit about.
Okay.
It's not much talked about, actually.
It's not
much.
Oh, okay, the topic. Yeah.
No, where a porn star is actually the one who does an interview. Because a lot of times you also think they're like quite dumb people or I don't know what, right? But she was very formal, very well spoken. Yeah, it was a cool, interesting interview.
Okay, but I will check out Eric Weinstein. I actually I know his name and I know he was on the Joe Rogan, but I never really listened to it, or I don't know what he does, or I'm unaware of him.
Well, so if I have to mention a person of interest, a recent interesting person, it would actually be him. I recently also sort of stumbled upon him through Joe Rogan, and I went to his podcasts. I listened to some episodes, which were really good.
Okay.
So yeah. So let's see. Are there some other things that you guys wanna share, or because we've been into the call now for what about 2 hours?
By the way, I love this. It's so much fun. It's great.
Yeah, me too. I like it too. Yeah. I think we should do regular.
Yeah.
Update, because it's also easier, because now it's who do you follow? It's just okay, since 6 months ago, what's new?
Yeah.
And then you can talk about that.
Because I still have some things that I want to.
Just let me and Marvin talk.
All right, I'll leave. All right.
I talk too much.
No, go ahead.
I'm not gonna. I had a few more things, but because otherwise this podcast might end up turning 4 hours long. Maybe it could be for a next one.
Yeah, let's leave some topics on the table for next one. I also have some more topics, but please, bring up some more.
I have a bunch of topics still, but yeah, maybe it would be good if we keep a few.
Yeah.
So I think this could be a good point to sort of wrap it up. And I think for the next call, we should all have a villa, or our own.
I'll invite you
unique...
guys over. No worries.
Yes.
Yeah, if we can, we should really do this in person. I mean, we can
Of
just
course.
meet up in Antwerp
That would be the best experience to have. But it's just right now because of the coronavirus. Once that's moved by, then this we should definitely do in person, because that would be amazing.
And then like let's make like a weekend out of it. Like either Marvin, you come to Belgium, or we come to Germany, and then we just go out, have some dinner.
Yeah,
have
and
some beers, like just
get super wasted, right? And
get
by the way,
fucked up.
So Marvin just moved into a new apartment in Düsseldorf, which, to be honest,
in Düsseldorf, man, that's like we're neighbors almost.
Basically.
Yeah, I'm close again.
All right.
This was fun because I didn't want to get an apartment and then be so far away all the time. And then the virus came. I still got the apartment because I didn't want to move. Like, I didn't want to miss the chance. It's a very nice apartment. I was very lucky to get it. And then the virus came, and it was kind of like the perfect timing. I was like, okay, now I'm stuck here, but I have this apartment. It's great. I can do a lot of work here. So yeah, that's fantastic. It was meant to be the apartment to just be at whenever I'm in Germany. But now it's like a long time that I'm in Germany, so it's great. I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, then it's definitely doable to come over, do a podcast there.
Yeah,
and that would be amazing. That would be fun, because you gave me a little tour through your apartment, and for one person, it's a spacious apartment.
Yeah,
you by the way need some furniture, because you definitely have some echo.
This is the office, and there's nothing on the walls yet.
I can hear.
So, yeah, it's a bit empty, but I also like that. I'm a bit on the minimalistic side, so I like that. But yeah, the walls need to be hung by pictures and paintings.
I think you should meet a good friend of mine, Jonathan. He's also very minimalistic. If he would like have a choice, he would just have a desk and a chair.
Yeah.
Maybe paper. That's it. Like, he also has like nothing. He was like always telling me like, why do you have so many clothes? Like, just have 3 t-shirts, man. I'm like, bro, I like wearing different shit, you know? But he's very minimalistic.
I'm more a fake minimalist. Like, I have like t-shirts, for example. I have a few black, white, and gray. This is all I have. I might have some gym clothes, but like, then I have like a few sweatshirts, but it's all pretty basic, no logos, no nothing. But then I could have maybe 10 guitars, or like, you know, or like watches. I could have maybe 30-40 watches if I could. I would, just because I am interested in that. And then there's a few things that I like. I have 4 forks. I should have a bit more, and I have 4 or 6 plates, and I'm happy with that. Like, I don't need more. I don't need more than 6 glasses.
I'm the same in that, actually. When I had an apartment in Antwerp, I had 2 forks. That was it.
Yeah.
I had 12.
Yeah.
Of everything.
When is there the point where you have 11 guests at your house? Like, I never have.
Bro, you never know. You never know.
I don't have that many friends.
But you just value different things, right? That's why you would have 10 guitars, but you know, just 3 t-shirts, for example.
No, but to me, like, I'm not joking with like minimalism. I think it's really cool. Because Jonathan, I respect that, and I actually am moving more towards it. And it's actually interesting. The less you have, the more you value what you have.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And that's very but it's still like hard for me to not keep things. Like, for example, now I have my Sonos. I will still keep my Bose speaker because I still like that one too. But I should actually just gift it away to somebody.
Yeah,
I would say yes. I think you should.
My dad already asked me. I'm like, you can just use it, but it stays mine.
Yeah.
No, I'll probably gift it to him.
But it's a good. I mean, honestly, if it's not being used, it's being wasted in a way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And I don't know, but for me, and I'm very minimalistic too. You know, of course, there's extremer ones, but it just my head is already quite busy, and it just helps if then the real outside world is less busy. It just helps to calm everything for me, and that's why I totally get for you, like Marvin, that like your office is just a table and a chair. I would basically have the same.
It's a bit more than that, but
yeah, of course, but yeah.
Walls are empty, like everything is really cleaned up. I have a bit of a studio in the background. You can't see. I moved the lights, but like there's a bit of shit laying around, bit of gym equipment, but like compared to other stuff, it's like really empty. And I like empty walls. So I put paintings, for example, on the floor rather than hanging them.
On the floor.
I don't know why I'm crazy. And I put lamps, also like desktop lamps. I put them on the floor. I don't know why. Just because I like the clean space and I feel like I can think better.
Yeah.
Not that I'm thinking of crazy processes and I'm going crazy in my head, but just I have a bunch of color in my head. I told this to my mom. She's like, why everything gray and black and white? I said, I have so much color in my brain that I get really confused by a lot of colors and everything. It's not that I don't like colors, not at all. I love them, but it's just too much in my head.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
What you guys should look up like the famous picture of Steve Jobs in his apartment.
Oh yeah.
I
know that one.
It's the same thing, like only the essentials. I remember it's probably online. I read his book, and it was in the book. But it's like he only has like a lamp, a chair, and a music player. And he's like, these are the essential things that I need, so I don't need more. And he's like, he has this ridiculous New York apartment, huge, like, and he's also super minimalistic. So it's cool, guys. Marvin, have you always been like this?
I think
like minimalist?
No. I
clean,
think when I moved
like
to
everything
Australia,
clean.
When I moved to Australia, it was the first, or when I traveled to there, it was the first time of like that I needed to decide what I need.
Because of your backpack, basically.
When I moved to the US, I just took a bunch of shit. And even compared to now, I took too much when I went to Australia. But it was the first time for me to put things in a backpack and say, this is what I need for my life. And I remember I put things there that I would never take again. But I think that was the case. And also my mom, due to what happened to her in the past, she collects everything. She collects a lot. She has lost a lot of stuff in her life. So now she's recollecting a lot of things. Like 200 pairs of shoes. And like there's certain things that she has millions of things of. And I don't like that. And once I started to be very creative, I realized that things annoy me when they don't fit into place. So she, for example, she has 2 different sets of plates and she doesn't care that they're next to each other and she uses 2. And I'm like, well, one is white and one is blue. Why don't use one? Like one set. And she likes everything in color. She has, I don't know, 20 plants in the living room. And like, I just don't get along with that. I don't like when everything is full of stuff. It really, like, I grew up this way, and I think that way I just sort of distanced myself from that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
because it is interesting.
I'm actually thinking like I'll be moving very soon into another apartment in Brussels. And I'm actually thinking, instead of doing it the normal way where you just pack up your shit and go, I will just take what I think I need. And if I need more, I will just come collect it later.
I like that.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like the same thing what you guys did, because you guys, it seems, both learned it from backpacking.
Yeah.
For me, for sure.
And
from me too.
I've never done that. So.
And Yellis is very extreme at it. I remember when we went to Vietnam, I mean, for video work, you need a bit more than photography, or at least most of the stuff, depending on what production we did. Now I would probably shoot much more handheld, just one lens, or two maybe. See, there's but sorry. But I remember when Yellis and I went to Vietnam, he had a fucking 35-liter backpack for like a month. And I already broke down to a lot of different shit. And yeah, we shot a movie, so we needed a bunch of stuff and camera and sound and light and whatever to have a higher quality movie. But like, I remember that I was so jealous, and I was like, damn, this is the right way to go. So now, for example, I would always limit clothes and everything else and put gear first, and then even limit the gear. Like I would ask myself 20 times, do I need a tripod? Do I really need a tripod? Do I need a tripod? Do I need this? Do I need really this microphone? Or can I shoot without sound, for example, just to make the experience better and also to challenge myself? So like now I would, for example, go on a trip, and I told myself the next trip, I'm not going to take a microphone, just so that I use the things that I have. And then in the edit, I just need to do sound design, whatever. And I really like that.
Yeah, and the thing with a backpack is actually that you're literally carrying the weight. So the more you carry the bag, the more you're actually also going to suffer.
But that's the thing, though. I don't have the immediate suffering.
Okay,
like,
and I wouldn't say
I have more stuff, but I don't physically have to. I probably suffer in my mind of having too much stuff, but it's not as obvious as when you're carrying like the stuff.
All right. And I wouldn't say that's the motivation of why. In general, I don't know. I think it also has to do with the more that I have with me, the more I can potentially lose. And I think if I think of the driving forces of why I pack so minimalistic, is that the less I have, the less I can actually lose. And I think everyone has some different reasons, but that to me is actually the main one, that, you know, I am losing less if I lose all this. Yeah.
I have a question for both of you. If you buy, for example, with my case, Sonos, I have Sonos speakers. As we speak, in my room where I'm now at, I have Bose speakers for my laptop. I have the mini SoundLink, and I have Sonos. Yep. This is ridiculous. Like, why do I have 3 ones? What do you guys do if you buy something new? Do you throw away the old? Like if you, let's say, Marvin, you have 4 plates. If you, for some reason, get to 5 friends and you invite them, right? You'll need 5 plates. What do you do if you cannot buy 1 plate of the same set you have?
Oh yeah, I have had this problem a couple of times that I wanted to buy just 1 and there's 2. Then probably I would give that away to someone, or yeah, I wouldn't throw it away because I wouldn't like that, but probably I would give that away for free. I mean, I do have, for example, as I said, I have 2 laptops, for example. This is not minimalistic. And I have a bunch of other tech gear and like some sort of backup stuff, but mostly I try to get exactly the amount that I have. And if I would have, for example, the 3 speakers that you have, I would use the one that I like the most as of sound quality and as of how easy can I control it? How easy can I connect it? Can I connect it with all my things? If yes, I would just get the one that I like the most. And oftentimes I would buy something more expensive to have all of those things like connectability, I don't know, design, quality, whatever. I'd rather spend a bit more money, not a hell lot, but a bit more money to have the better thing than to have a few normal things, or not normal, but like average things. And like my parents, for example, they have everything. They have 20 of everything, literally everything. You can have 20 lighters, 20 knives, 20 this, 20 that. And I'm I'd rather get something that's the same price for 20, but then just one, but then I can keep it for a long time too. I don't want to throw something away after 2 months. I don't want to throw it away. I want to give it away in 10 years or 20 years.
I agree. I also try to buy like the good one, but I still, so yeah, I need to like think more of replacing, like not adding, but replacing.
Yeah, I'm just, sometimes you just like something, so you want to keep it, and I think that's fine. Like, I wouldn't want to throw away a guitar. Like, I can't do that right now. And still they're in the basement. I don't even touch them. I haven't played them for years, so it's really sort of fake minimalism. But there's some things like clothes, for example, where I don't really care. So like, if I don't wear it, I just give it away, no matter what's the brand, no matter how expensive it was, no matter how often I wear it. Or how often I wore it, if I don't like it anymore and I catch myself not wearing it, it goes out. And it's the same with a bunch of stuff. Like, I just bought new towels, and I have some old ones that don't fit the same style because they're green, and I have gray ones. Of course, I put the green ones away. I don't need them as a backup. I can wash almost every day, and it's like 5 towels or something. So I will keep them. If it's one too much, I will put it away.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Does this fix your problem, Filip?
I am, but listen, I'm getting closer. Like, I actually was thinking this in the last week. I've been much better with keeping stuff, doing stuff away, and also just having my shit organized. Before, I wouldn't care. Like, if my desk was like full of stuff, it wouldn't really affect me.
Yep.
I just sit down. I wouldn't even see it. Like, if people say, "Oh, you have 3 pencils on your desk," I would say no. Like, that's impossible. Because I literally do not see them.
But so then the question is basically like, if you don't see it, does it matter? Like, if it doesn't bother you, does it matter then?
It doesn't, but I like the idea of a clean desk. It's just something I like that. I want to aspire to that as well.
Mm-hmm. Because for some people, they work better when there are some stuff on their desk, for example, right? I know, like, I think like Gary Vaynerchuk, he has, like, if you look at his vlogs or like his videos, he has a bunch of things on his desk. And for him, it works. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do this, right? Or that you shouldn't get more cleaner or whatever. But at the same time, I don't know if you should put that much time and effort on it if it doesn't actually bother you in the first place.
Don't worry, I won't put that much time in it. I will try to.
Dude, you're gonna be spending 24 hours every day on this now, worrying about this, I'm just telling you, you don't have to do that.
All right, thanks. All right, but let's go to your point. You wanted to bring something up.
Me?
Just before. Yeah. You said you wrote down some stuff and you wanted to talk about one thing as like a closing.
No, what I was saying is that I still have a few more things on there, but I think it would be better to actually keep it for a next call, as right now we're already getting quite on a decent amount of time, and like stretching it longer right now, I don't feel is gonna be good for us and for anyone listening, right? As it's also getting quite late at the moment here now, right. And I'm getting hungry.
Dennis is hungry, guys. All right, let's leave him.
Not hangry yet, but I would say that this is a good point for us to kind of wrap it up. I think it's been great fun actually to be able to have a conversation with you from a distance, and it would be amazing for the next one to actually have that in person if possible.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
So is there any parting words or anything that you guys want to share, or are we at a good point?
I would love to bet with you, and then the next time we meet, someone has to do something, the winner or gets something, or the losers get something. How many people are going to listen to that completely? I am going below 5.
I'm saying 0.
I am so sorry for you that you have such a horrible life that you needed to listen to us.
Come on. If someone is able to keep listening to this point, then at least it must have been entertaining.
Hi, Mom. Thanks for listening.
I would love to bet, but I have no idea how to track that actually.
Me neither. I have zero idea. Imagine we wake up and it has 5 million views. And
Yeah, let's. If that would happen, then that's a miracle, though.
next time we interview Elon Musk smoking weed.
But look, either way, I think this was a great thing to do.
Yes.
It's super fun, and I think we both, all of us, kind of got some interesting thing out of it, or at least had some fun, right?
Oh yeah, it was great. I really loved it.
Me too. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to do regularly, and I also think that like once I think, like honestly, just as a review of the conversation, I agree with Marvin. I don't think anybody will watch this for like 2 hours and a half. That's just crazy.
Sure.
But I do think that like these calls have a potential of like people watching, because I think like if we do a couple more of these, we'll get better at it, and like we'll cut short certain topics.
Yeah.
Because I feel we went a little bit deep on certain things, although I was interested in everything. But like to make it more formatable for viewers.
Yes. And that's the thing that comes through doing, and exactly like you said, Filip, doing a couple more calls like this, and to know, because exactly, probably there were a couple of things that could have been cut more shorter to make it more dynamic. But either way,
that's your job now. Yeah, like you need to edit out all the crap.
So this whole conversation, instead of like 3 hours, is just gonna be like 10 minutes now.
But you know what I think?
Yeah.
I actually think that you should post like pieces of this on Instagram.
Yeah, and that's actually a thing that I'm also with my other podcasts doing or going to do now. Actually, subtracting pieces like Joe Rogan does with his podcasts, because it's super smart. And exactly with this, there are definitely pieces in this that could definitely be interesting to people. So that's something I would do. Yeah.
By the way, if you cut me out too much,
It's gonna be.
it's like every time the camera is like pointing to me, it's like blip. Okay, next.
It's gonna be Filip saying, "Yeah, I agree." Yeah, I agree.
I love with Joe Rogan, like when there's like clips that some other people made of him having a conversation with himself, or like just what you can do with editing. It's hilarious.
This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Joe Rogan talking to himself is like, "Have you ever tried DMT?"
Really, I've never seen this, guys. I'm gonna look it up.
Check it. But anyway, it's been great. Gonna go off here.
Right.
And yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Awesome conversation. Speak to you soon, Marvin. Let's meet up soon, man. Like, come to Belgium, or we come to Düsseldorf. I'm keen.
Or we go somewhere completely else.
Well, let's start with the easy steps first.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but let's keep on talking, guys, and have a wonderful night.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy your food. I'm gonna go to bed soon.
Well, all right. Good night, guys. Ciao.
Bye. Thank you for listening, whoever. Bye.